Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cantina MX Football Podcast. We're on episode 497. Obviously, we need to be aware of the current circumstances in Mexico and how that might affect everything that's happening this summer in the World Cup. We're going to talk about that tonight. And of course, all the results that happened over the weekend. Chivas' undefeated streak finally comes to an end. We are live on YouTube and on Twitter Spaces. So welcome everyone to tonight's episode titled Pray for Mexico. Maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic here, but I have people in Mexico that were recently affected by all the shit that's happening. You know, they murdered El Mencho, and after that, all hell broke loose. And I think the concerning part is that it's also happening in the touristy areas, which I thought were untouchable. You know, every time I go to Mexico, I go to Vallarta, I go to, Cabo. I've been to Quintana Roo, I've been to Cancun, right? Even though they say there's always warnings about going to Mexico, you're in the touristy area. They're not going to touch you. They're not going to fuck with you. But they're crossing lines, and innocent people are at risk and at danger and possibly getting hurt. And this is all happening at a very critical time, right? We are months away from a World Cup that is going to be hosted in Mexico, obviously with Canada and USA. And, with this recent development, with all the thing that's going out, if you cannot secure the safety for your own people, what does that look like when tourists come in to watch these games in Guadalajara, in La Ciudad de Mexico, and in Monterrey? So we really want to hear from everyone tonight, their perspective. But, Portugal themselves, the federation, already went on record saying that, they're aware of the situation, they're monitoring their situation, and, they also have concerns, right? This whole anticipation of Ronaldo going to El Azteca, and really, El Azteca right now is under construction, going through remodeling in preparation of the World Cup. And this was going to be the big revelation, the big, I forgot the fucking word. It's at the tip of my tongue, but inauguration, I guess, even though it's not a new stadium, it's inaugurating it for the World Cup and having Ronaldo there. And those tickets must have sold like, hotcakes. Now with all this and, with the potentially Portugal either canceling the match or sending their B team or, their bench warmers or their ball boys. Who knows what Portugal will give us in March, but obviously that is a big concern, and it's really unfortunate that this is happening right now. We do have our panelists coming in. So give us a second. Looks like Abdias is ready to go. Welcome, Abdias.
Buenas putos. ¿Cómo andamos?
Doing okay, man. Obviously, a lot has changed, in the last couple of days, even from the last episode. You guys hand us our first defeat of the season, and then all hell breaks loose the next day. Coincidence? I think not.
Yo, bro, Chivas just apparently is a much bigger team than I thought, right? Because the fucking meltdown in Mexico after Cruz Azul put their dicks in their mouth is fucking ridiculous. The fact that people are lighting buses on fire, I think, is a little bit too extreme. Pero la putiza que les metimos, güey, does merit it. I get it.
Bro, they're lighting Costco on fire, man. Costco's not safe.
Bro, I don't know what they have against $1.50 glizzy and why they're so mad against it. Pero pues, people have strong feelings about certain things, right? Mexico's a wild place, man. You think life is good. You think you're chilling on the beach. You just got a promotion on your email.
You got all your Marriott points,
Bro, you're a Platinum Elite member. Y luego, güey, Mexico decides to do Mexico things and just flip the script. Pero ¿saben qué, chavos? For this moment, right now, we know that life is dark. We know that shit's happening. We might touch about it. We're going to make jokes. Pero ¿sabes qué, güey? El fútbol es lo más importante.
Until it gets canceled because of the circumstances at hand.
I mean, it might get canceled, pero there's a lot of words that, Infantino has been talking y que les tenemos fea México y esto y el otro. So,
Yeah.
mira, y si no, güey, you know what? More games in the US para los pochos que tienen, que vivimos aquí, para los passport bros del otro lado y que tienen feria, que se vengan, right? We might even see some new cities start to pop up as venues because now, since we're going to be talking about this really quickly, the US is having funding issues, especially cities who are going to be hosting these events, like for security and certain things like that.
Yeah.
Even those are going to be needing money. So it's not just like an across the border issue, it's an overall issue.
Yeah. One thing I want to like say from my perspective, a lot of our listeners, I don't know if they're Mexican American, Pochos, never been to Mexico, but follow the league. I really don't know everyone's demographic, but look, I was a kid, I've gone to Mexico. I go almost every year, and I've never ever felt in danger, or I never had that thought like, oh, maybe I should skip this year because shit is sketch. Shit has always been sketch in Mexico, with or without like narcos and shit. That's just how it is in Mexico. And I will say, like, the what happened on Sunday, like my grandma told me that they weren't even allowed to go to church. That the church put out a notice like, hey, stay at home. So when I heard that, I'm like, oh, shit just got real, bro. Because for them to do that, to lock up like Misa on Sunday, like shit must have happened. And, you know, I think like a lot of people that don't know the situation in Mexico or were thinking about traveling, you know, to catch their country play in Guadalajara or in La Ciudad de Mexico or Monterrey, I think right now they're starting to have regret, or they're scared, or, you know, this could, you know, potentially drive down ticket sales. I will say though, and I'm going to have to lean on maybe the elders in this panel. If there were ever a time in all these like leading up to the World Cup, have we ever gotten really close to changing venues and stuff? I know there's been issues in the past in Brazil. There's been issues obviously in Qatar and in Russia, but it never got to the point where FIFA said, hey, you know what? We deem this unsafe. We're changing plans. I don't think that's going to happen unless like the US invades Mexico or some shit. Like something drastic would have to happen for them to be like, we're canceling the Mexico like cities of hosting the World Cup.
Ahora, mijito, lo que acabas de decir, it's all fine and well, pero all that told me es que te falta barrio, carnal. ¿Qué? ¿No viviste el sexenio de Calderón? ¿No viviste el final de Fox? Cuando empezó todo el desmadre, cuando estaban los putazos, ¿o qué, güey? Cuando dicen se reunieron los guerreros Z, ¿piensas de Dragon Ball Z o los que estaban en Tamaulipas? Porque yo soy de Reynosa, güey. A mi primo lo desaparecieron con su amigo y su amigo apareció en una bolsa en pedacitos.
Damn.
Mi primo, quién sabe qué pasó, ¿verdad? Entonces, de lo que está pasando, esto no es nuevo, güey. Esto nos pasa todo el tiempo. Por eso, de que prendieron un Oxxo, güey, es lo que pasa. México se encabrona y prende Oxxo. This is the Mexico that we have. This is the Mexico that I have always known.
Yeah.
Right? With having a family that is very well connected and, you know, in certain circles, I myself chose not to travel to Mexico during these years because of what was happening. Things got better, and now things are getting worse again. All it's going to take is a while, man. Look, here's my prediction. The World Cup as of right now is good. If things keep popping off at the rate in which they are for the next month, this is when we should start having the conversation of, are we going to cancel the World Cup? Or is our title as a host country in danger? As of right now, the most important thing is, if you're, you know, American with a passport and living comfortably in the States, keep your fucking ass at home. Okay? Like, dead ass, dude. Keep your ass at home. Like, this danger tourism thing might be fun and everything. You saw the videos of when it happened in other places and you might want to live it. But you know what? This shit is real life. And when the locals are scared for their life, and when the food is no longer available, and when the water gets cut off, and when you notice that it's not just shootings, bombs, and drones that are fucking going to war, but they're also tearing up the roadways in and out of town.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
Yep.
And it's no longer a game. Now you're begging for the embassy to come pick you up. But your dumbass was all too joyful to get on the plane on the way down.
Yeah, dude.
No,
I
my
mean,
dear good sir.
I have
Mexico is Mexico.
I have family that went recently for Valentine's Day, and they're stuck out there right now. So I mean, that's the situation at hand. And I think we look back at '86. The '86 World Cup was awarded to Colombia, but they couldn't meet the requirements, the infrastructure, the money. So Mexico kind of got it as a kind of like a just they stepped in at the last second to take over from Colombia, and then
because they had the infrastructure
and they had an earthquake, right? So like even like the year,
but it wasn't like 100 days from the tournament.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean?
Help me paint the picture. Who I know Colombia announced early, right? Like in '82 that they were not able to host.
There was just more time to still set it up because even after they it was known they weren't going to be able to host it. Other countries bid. They made a bid for it, and they met at the FIFA headquarters, and Mexico got it for the record second time. And they sort of shouldn't have been awarded because they had just had it
in '70
in 93 Kissinger coins, and this was like during the North American Soccer League, and you had like Warner Music that they did the Cosmos.
Was Pele in there by then?
Yeah, that was the Cosmos. Yeah, wow. And then that was the in that team, and it seemed to be more under control as opposed to that. I do think I feel like you downplay. Yeah,
kind of just like a kind of how like they have the crown and like
this guy died on the plane in the helicopter ride. And they're saying because of the connections, it's too connected to the government. They were funded by the cartel, the Nueva Generación. The other thing that I didn't know was that leading up to that guy's downfall, X had already been catching a couple other dudes. So I think it's like 100 like figureheads that they've arrested.
Yeah.
Most important thing.
Really quick, and the U.S. is pushing for more. They're saying, "Hey, this doesn't mean you stop.
We gotta keep going." Bro. Let's not forget. At this point, about 3 weeks ago, the Mexican government gave authorization for U.S. Special Forces to operate within Mexico. Y luego pasó este desmadre. Y ahora va a seguir pasando. And these dudes already got clearance. They're going to be coming in. Los murciélagos ya andan volando por todo México, güey. They're snatching people up. You going to tell me that murciélagos and Navy SEALs aren't teaming up to take out people?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have, man. They got this guy pretty quick.
Ahí está. Now,
hey, but like real quick, with any organized crime, like they always have someone ready to take over the reins, right? So even though they killed this dude,
but
there have been reports that
they already have
son-in-law.
Yeah,
his son-in-law's taking over an American guy.
It's just
un güerito.
Yeah, I think it's all smoke and mirrors, right? Because you've seen this happen time and time again. Pablo Escobar goes down. You had Chapo go down. You had Felix Angel Gallardo go down. And it's like, dude, the business keeps moving because it's set in a way where it's like, oh, you just put another cog in the wheel and the machine is still running smoothly. So even though this was like, I guess, a big win or a big moment, it's like, dude, there's still going to be violence and there's still going to be cartels tomorrow. Like, this doesn't change anything.
Well, I mean, I think they got too big. The whole cartels in Mexico, they got too big, where they were already like got into politics and business, and they were doing much more than just drugs. They were like
most importantly, they were doing so openly and blatantly.
Yeah, they were these companies now. It's like a company. They own businesses and banks and all of that. And then they have presence in the U.S. That was the other thing that I don't think gets talked about a lot about. But they're in the U.S. as well, and in a lot of the states, not just like California and Texas, but all over the U.S. So it's crazy, like their influence that they had, and and from what I've read about that organization was that they were like multinational. They were all over the world. So they kind of had surpassed what previous cartels had done. These guys they're getting, they're getting too big, man. I think that was part of it. There's like these guys are getting too big. Time to cut their legs out.
Quick question: have any of you guys heard of this musician? I think the name is Peso Pluma. He's apparently very popular with the youth, and he openly says, "Yo soy de las cuatro letras. Ya saben quién soy." So, if you know, you fucking know.
Yeah. Tying this back to the friendly Mexico has scheduled against Portugal. Let me just read you what Portugal said, the Football Federation. They said that they're closely monitoring the security situation in Mexico amid a surge in violence following the recent killing of a major cartel leader. And in the statement, the Federation emphasized that the safety of the players, coaching staff, and its fans is its absolute priority. It will continue evaluating conditions in Mexico in coordination with the Portuguese government and the Mexican Football Federation, and that any final decision about the March 28 match will be based on that ongoing monitoring. They said that they feel honored by the invitation to participate in the friendly, and that, they have to ensure everyone's safety before confirming the trip. And as of right now, it's not a canceled, but they're going to be reviewing this on a day-to-day basis. So much for seeing Ronaldo in La Ciudad de Mexico.
I don't think. I doubt. I should say I don't think. I doubt it would get to that point where they would attack. Would the cartel would attack, and attack a team from another country or try to kidnap or do something like that. At which point it would just escalate the situation. And I don't feel they want to go that way right now. I feel like
Joel,
most likely hurting. Huh?
I think the word you're looking for is you hope. Because I watched the video of these motherfuckers lighting a 2-year-old on fire. All right. And this was just yesterday while they were burning Oxos.
Jesus.
All right. So let's not try to humanize them and be like, oh,
no, I'm not humanizing
they wouldn't
them.
do it. No, the words are you would hope that they wouldn't do this.
Yeah, but see, at this point, it would be like a whole international thing, and they would just escalate intervention and whatnot. I feel at this point, they would just...
Señor, a los terroristas no les importa. Llámalos lo que son. A los terroristas no les importa.
It's not
okay,
so much
güey, ¿no tienen los huevos a llamarlos terroristas?
No, they are. I agree with you. They're terrorists. I feel that them burning down, stuff that the people depend on, and those are acts of terrorism by themselves. And even before, like all the people that were missing, that like we just talked about this maybe at the start of the year about all the body bags or trash bags filled with body parts found close to Chivas Stadium, So it's been pretty heavy. And then just the number of this, people that have disappeared across the states it's insane. How many, people have gone missing. I saw a video, I don't know if you guys saw it, where they were trying to hijack a bus and the bus driver just floors it. I don't know if that's just isolated or if you're going to start seeing some of these people fighting back. Because, a lot of them are just tired of living like this.
It is. It's personal safety and how much it is that the fucking regular day citizen is willing to take. Right now, personally, the reason why I will go forth and label them as terroristas is because, güey, ni me dejaron disfrutar la putiza que le metió el Cruz Azul a los Chivas, güey. No mames. We pushed your shit in the whole fucking match,
Stop
bro.
it.
Y luego, cuando voy por Barbacoa en la mañana, güey, no mames. Detona la pinche bomba y se arde el cerro.
Hey, look, I want to say that the match between Cruz Azul and Chivas was chef's kiss. It was great. It was competitive. And I was really impressed that Chivas really couldn't get going. You know, the midfield battle was won by Cruz Azul, and that kind of set the rest of the match. You know, and I will say, like, it was, I love the fact that from minute 0 to minute 90 plus, they fought. They didn't give up. It was a lot of passion on the pitch. They left it all out there. And that's all you can ask. Obviously, the result's not in our favor. There's a lot of lessons to be learned. But this was the first real test for Chivas, right? We beat a bunch of nobodies, including America, a bunch of nobodies. And finally, we have a good test, a good opponent. And it just hurts to see Charlie Rodriguez score. I'm not upset about the loss. I'm upset that Charlie Rodriguez scored off a header and is cementing his ticket to the World Cup because of it. That's what I'm more upset about.
It's like when the worst person that you know has nothing but good luck.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful, bro. I love it. Like, it was such a great game.
And the Ley del Ex, right? Angel Sepulveda scoring against his former club. Love to see that too.
You know what? The only way that Chivas was able to score on Cruz Azul is porque hubo interference from the ref. That's the only reason why you guys were able to score. All right? Because Cruz Azul was recovering the ball, y luego le pega al pinche árbitro. Y valió verga. That's where the breakaway happens. That's where it starts to go. Si el árbitro tuviera huevos, he would have stopped that play. Pero no, como está, ¿verdad? Tiene pena de que le pegó, no quiso.
Yeah. What'd you think about the referee camera? I thought that was an interesting point of view.
I think it should have been wiped down before the start of the match because that shot was super fucking hazy and shitty. All right, but it's nice, man. It's a nice touch. I'm happy that they chose to, you know, I don't want to say steal. Copy is a little bit, you know, too soft, but they were inspired by who was it? The Zone and the Club World Cup.
Yeah, that's right. That's where we saw that.
Because it was I liked it too. I liked it too. It was really nice on the Club World Cup. The Zone had a really clean shot. It looked amazing. They made you pay more in the World Cup. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I liked it. It was also like the best angle on those goals. They were all from set pieces, it felt like, you know, and he got a really good angle on those goals, and we wouldn't have gotten those angles otherwise. So I'm a big fan of it, and I'm not sure if this is just because it's the World Cup year and they might do that for the World Cup. I know we got the offside technology, and that's been really appreciated. So hopefully this stays in Liga MX. It's not just a one season thing.
Well, remember, Liga MX is a trendsetter.
Yeah.
All right. We were the first ones to introduce the explanation of the VAR.
The mic.
We were the first ones to do that. Now we're the first ones to put on the cameras and start airing it openly. So let's see what other trends we can set in the near future.
Even Messi went on record saying he watches Liga MX. So
it's entertaining way. Mm-hmm. Now, really quickly, everything that happened in the match was amazing. It was great. But for me, the takeaway that I love is two. Paravela, The fact that he arrived to Cruz Azul just recently and has been able to be Palavecino just arrived recently and has been extremely productive, fucking amazing, right? And Wheeler Dita, güey.
Oh my goodness.
Que hizo Wheeler Dita,
Who is this dude, man?
At a certain point, he was walking around the pitch in a bucket hat with his dick out the whole time. Hey. It was amazing, and I love it. Y luego, güey, even better yet, que se pendejeó al Hormiga todo el pinche partido, güey.
He was punking Dita was punking Hormiga out the whole game, pestering him, just fucking with him. And I'm so glad he did that because that's going to be such a valuable experience if he ends up going to the World Cup. But he'll never forget that battle. And, I have to say, Dita won that battle against Hormiga. Hormiga was not very productive out there. And,
bro, made him look every single bit of his age.
Yeah, dude.
Like, pinche neta, güey, I feel bad for him.
Nah,
I was like, when they pick on your
experience.
otaku friend, way, and you're like, yo, come on, man. Like,
hey,
ya lo pendejeaste todo el día, güey. Like,
you know that this game always awards rematches and revenge. So I know that in the future, Hormiga will get his revenge on Dita. But it was really nice to see Hormiga get basically molested the whole game. You only get better from this. That's the way I see it. Is you only get better from this. I had in high school when we were on varsity, one of my good friends, he would try to stick his finger up the striker's butt, dude. He would try to do everything to do the most uncomfortable things. He would talk so much shit on the field. He'd be pulling shirts and just, whispering in their ear. He would get in their heads, bro, and it would work. It would fucking work.
That's called the dark arts. And in case anybody doesn't know who this Chocolatao that I'm talking about is, he is a national team player for the Colombian team. In fact, he is part of their starting defensive line.
Is he really?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know he was a starter.
Yeah, he's fucking legit.
Oh, wow.
And so you
guys getting from
he's good.
From the Big Lots bargain bin? Like, where the fuck did this come from?
Bro, we've had him for like 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Like we brought him in under Alcelmi. So he's been in there for a while, just cooking. Now the problem with Dita is the same energy that he shows here, he shows all the fucking time. Which means he's red card prone. He will push your shit in. Like, he's the type of player that you want, especially at center back.
Yep. Well, look, a bump in the road for Chivas. They still have 18 points. They're still on top. But Cruz Azul have cemented, pun intended, their second position. And they're right behind them. And, for all the shit that we've been giving Pumas, man, they actually handled business against Rayados on Sunday. Alvaro Angulo, a brace within the first 20 minutes of the match. And, yeah, that was a surprising result. We've been talking so much shit about Pumas, but it looks like them getting eliminated from the Champions Cup have helped them focus on the league. And what a game by Keylor Navas. God damn. We have Rifado who's been patiently waiting. Rifado, welcome, man. I didn't even notice you got in.
Yo, what's up, mi gente? Just listening, man. Captivated, dude. Some serious stuff happening in Mexico. And it's tough times. If I want to say anything on it, it's that, Joel touched on something really interesting. And that's that this, and Abdia said too, this did not occur in a nutshell or like in a vacuum, I mean. Like, we a couple hundred yards from the stadium, we had found like hundreds of bodies in bags, and then prior to that, a couple years ago, El Chapo Guzman's son was captured, and the cartel, their reaction to having their leader captured was to kill innocent people or to threaten to kill innocent people in the city until his release, and then the authorities eventually released him, right? And they would end up capturing him some other time he was extradited or something. I don't know what happened to him exactly, but my point is that we already know that the cartel doesn't care for innocent life, and that scares a lot of sponsors. That scares FIFA executives, because we're gonna have a lot of people from all over the world here, and like what better time for the cartel to leverage their position to the government? We know they'll kill innocents, and they could hold them hostage, and so like depending on how Mexico, Sheinbaum, and the like handle the situation, we could very well see these games taken away. And it's not the end of the world for the Mexican national team. If the games are moved to the United States, it's still home field advantage. So it might inconvenience them. It might inconvenience Azcárraga, the owner of Club America, who renovated the Estadio Azteca specifically for this, as well as Amauri, the owner of Chivas, who is patiently waiting for the game that to be hosted in Chivas, and then as well as the Monterrey Stadium. So like it wouldn't be the end of the world if it happens, and I think it's a real possibility because of the history that I just named and plenty more that I haven't, and the gravity of the matter. There was a coordinated attack throughout the city where they just fucked everything up, and they only reported one death like the day of, but like I don't believe that.
Of course not.
I think back to the Querétaro what was it, Atlas game, where they reported no deaths after we most certainly saw some people dead.
Absolutely.
And so you can't trust the official government narrative or like the state's adjacent media, because we know they'll lie to us. In 66 or 67, they murdered a bunch of students, and then they covered it up, and we didn't know for a long period of time. And then like 10, 15 years ago, they killed those students and they covered it up, and then it was like the municipal government who had done it. And so the chickens are coming home to roost for Mexico, and it's very severe right now. And hopefully they make it through. But onto the game, I thought it was a like you guys said, a great game by Willard Dita, who in like one snippet was like holding on to Hormiga's shirt, and then when he lets him go, he pushes him.
Yeah,
and you could just tell that Hormiga was just like, I'm such a bitch. Like this guy, I don't know, he's owning me, dude. It was like it was a rude awakening for Hormiga, who had just been in stellar form and has like garnered the interest supposedly of people like Barcelona and other European giants. It was tough for him, and it was a tough match for us. I think the thing that did us in was all the cambios. Oftentimes a lot of fans will criticize a coach for not, bringing in the substitutes as fast or as much as they want. But like one of the drawbacks to changing so much of the team is that you lose the formation, you lose defensive positioning, markers, like all that shit gets jumbled up. And so after we scored, first Milito, we're one down. And then in the second half, Milito makes a bunch of substitutes. And then we get one goal back, and it's tied up. And then we immediately lose we immediately concede another goal off a set piece to midget or like small person Charlie Rodriguez. And, he had no business scoring that with his head. And it happened because the defense was disorganized. And it was disorganized because of all the changes. And so, I just want to point out, that's one of the drawbacks to, substituting 4 or 5 guys, at one point in time. Yeah, you get fresh legs, but, it becomes, the formation goes out of whack.
Rifado, I'm actually going to challenge you on that real quick and tell you, really, bro? Because when Milito made those changes, early in the second half, that's when Chivas stopped the bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Because antes que eso, güey, les estaban llegando. No mames, güey. We were tickling your prostate. All right? The
That's
whole
where the G-spot
fucking
is.
time. Hey, wait, don't blame me. Blame Jesus on that one, all right? I didn't choose to have my G-spot in my ass.
Why do you think I got a bidet?
Look, if I curl my finger, déjame te digo. Pero, como dije, güey, los estábamos tocando por detrás todo el puto partido y no cambió hasta que Milito hizo esas sustituciones. Entonces, no mames, güey. He did the right thing.
I'm giving him his flowers. The team, got one goal back, and then but they immediately conceded afterwards.
Yeah.
And so like in that set piece, in that corner kick, someone didn't mark fucking Charlie Rodriguez, and he was like, he didn't even jump high, and he's short as fuck. He had no business scoring. And that's because the team was disorganized because of
what do you have against short kings? What do you have against short kings?
I don't, but I do think that like he had no business beating our defense in that moment.
Yeah,
and it was just
it's like when Chiquito Sanchez scored against Germany. Like, what? How the fuck did this happen? But I don't know what Milito thought. I think in the midfield he wanted to recover the ball, and that's why he put also Ngobea there. But I would have preferred that Pocho that we brought in, Brian Gutierrez. I also would have liked to see the new kid that they signed, just to get some minutes, just to get a taste of what it feels like to be in a because right now, I'll be honest, man, there is a legitimate rivalry between Chivas and Cruz Azul, and it's been building up, and I think there's more animosity between these two clubs than we have against America right now. Like, I feel it. I saw it firsthand, man. I thought there was going to be red cards, and it would have been a great game for Jonathan to get his debut in.
I was waiting for putazos.
Me too.
I was like, este juego va a terminar en putazos, güey. Pinche hermosura.
Yep.
Give me that much. Y luego, nada, güey. But I don't know. I don't know if you want to call it a rivalry or not. At this point, it's kind of like that thing that Toluca keeps trying to do with everybody. Like, we've kicked your ass 3 times, bro. In a row. Like, pretty significantly.
But it's
and
also
you still keep coming back for more.
It's also in the matter of how we lose, right? Obviously, this one was a little bit more, one-sided, I'd say. But you look at the game where Chicharo missed that PK. I mean, that just builds to the rivalry and sort of the bitterness we have towards Cruz Azul.
Yeah, no, it's definitely heating up. If you want to talk about bitterness, there's somebody in here that has had to change their name 3 times. Pero por puto no lo hizo una vez. Entonces, nomás para que todos sepan, andaban de hocicón y los pusimos en 4. Entonces, ahí está chula.
I also have to put my conspiracy hat on and say, in terms of the substitutions, we do have a friendly against Iceland on Thursday. And a huge chunk of that team belongs to Chivas. I don't know if Aguirre said, hey, take these guys out early, or if they just said, hey, we got a game against Iceland. Let's take them out and rest them.
Really? Really? Is it that time? Did you up the dose on the copium, bro?
I mean, I'm just saying, bro. I mean, they called up, 7, 8 of our players? Like...
You mean to tell me the national team coach came to me and was like, hey, I know that you're super leader right now, but I need you to sandbag this shit.
I mean, dude, they called up Alvarez, Hormiga, Richie Ledesma, Brian, Piojo, Campillo, and Rangel, bro. That's 7 players.
It's usually the other way around. And Militron would tell Aguirre, just play them 1/2. That's usually what happens more often than not. The coach would try to impose some playing time.
This is a Moleto.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't understand Vasco asking for Chivas to sandbag their players.
Or maybe the players themselves, right? Campillo doesn't have... he's lucky to get even a look against Iceland. Not everybody has a guaranteed ticket. This is like their main audition. This might be their only chance to get some minutes in that game against Iceland. So, like, we don't have a lot of players on lock. I know Rangel is probably a lock, but Hormiga, Campillo, Richie Ledesma, even Efrain Alvarez, like, I don't think he's a lock for the national team. So, yeah, these kids are going to try to ball out against Iceland on Thursday. We'll see.
So did they try harder at the Cruz Azul match, or did they sandbag? I'm not quite sure where we landed on this.
I thought it was close as fuck. I thought they were lucky not to tie it or win it.
Yeah.
You know, I thought well, the 1-1 would have been a just score line given how both teams performed. I'm by no means mad. You know, it's sad that the win streak is over. We're still top of the table. We're still performing well, and you know, I think two of the best teams Mexico has to offer played that day, Cruz Azul and Chivas, and then you know you throw in Tigres and maybe I mean you throw in Toluca and maybe Tigres, and then you have you know the best teams in the league right now.
It was a good match, and I'm glad that we got tested in the way that we did, and that we're still able to afford this loss because we had 6 straight victories, right? We have another big test against Toluca to finish off the month of February. So I think that this is the perfect start for Chivas, a good test. Hopefully they'll have some more anger and some more energy to beat off Toluca and finish the month of February still on top, because Toluca right now are in 4th with 15 points, and they're trying to leapfrog their way into first place. So a good test nonetheless.
Oh, it is, man. It was a good test. It's interesting to see what it is that Chivas will become. Because I'll be honest, man, I like watching Chivas play, at least this version of Chivas, because it's entertaining. Look, honestly, it's a bit of a hate watch for me, but the fact that they're able to perform, it's like when you watch your retarded cousin ride a bike for the first time.
Oh my God.
You're like, he might be drooling all over himself. There's a little bit of poop on the bottom of his shoe, but he's fucking doing it, dude. All right? It's fucking impressive. All right? So
hold on.
never fucking doubt what Los Mongolitos can do.
Isn't there a more PC friendly term like como el burro que tocó la flauta, something like that?
No, Wayne, a mí no me educaron así.
You know, I will say this. I was so impressed by the guy you mentioned, Palavecino. I think they got him from Necaxa. He is something else, man. Like, you know, he's a game changer and a really good buy. We're seeing a very different Cruz Azul, but they seem to be cementing themselves into a formidable force.
Bro, los dos Palas are fucking amazing. Because you have Palavecino and then you have...
you got 2 of them.
Fuck, I'm gonna draw a blank on his name.
Pared or something?
Yeah, that... Palavecino and
Paradela.
Yeah.
Pero los dos, güey, juegan de toda madre. No mames. Like, este Cruz Azul, güey, has, at this point, I've been running through quite a bit of Diddy oil. I'm running a little bit low, and my supplier's doing some time, so...
Hey, man, don't get too excited.
I'm about to bust it out. Because they're playing really fucking well.
I'm telling you, bro, y'all ain't winning shit this season. I hate to be that guy, and it's not because you guys won't go far. It's because you're also losing some fucking serious, you know, firepower come World Cup time.
I am, and you know what's the worst part? Mine is also international.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna lose quite a few people.
Is Piovi like called up or no?
No. He would be called up to one of the tough ones.
And then your goalkeeper, right? The Colombian goalkeeper?
It depends on how he's doing. But yes, also World Cup caliber. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting, right? It's like the old heads like to say, it's Prode all over again. Pero sabes qué, güey? The edge and the buildup is still gonna be just as good as the main thing. So I'm just enjoying the ride.
I want to play a sound bite from Carlos Hermosillo, and I think it's a really good topic that we should discuss. But let me play it and let me know what you guys think. Oh, wait, hold on. The audio's not working. Give me 1 sec. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Let's try now.
Es un absurdo que estemos pensando en naturalizados. que digan que son igual que... No,
¿sabes qué es un
Te voy a decir una cosa,
absurdo?
¿Por qué no juegan en su país en la selección? Explíquenme por qué no juegan en su país. Y la otra que te voy a pedir también,
eso por qué me lo
que me
preguntas?
expliquen tú y el señor.
¿Por qué me lo preguntas a mí?
No, porque pues también, porque tú estás defendiendo el tema del naturalismo.
sí.
Y explícame la otra, ¿por qué tan rápido los naturalizan? ¿Por qué esa sencillez de
¿Rápido?
naturalizarlos en un añito y rápido
No,
ya
no.
están naturalizados y bye?
Fidalgo no fue un año.
Bueno, no Fidalgo no, pero pregúntale a
Son
los
5
demás.
años.
A los demás pregúntales.
5 años.
A los demás.
¿Pero
los
de
que
qué me
juegan
hablas?
antes eran 2 años.
Está bien, pero bueno, y tiene la culpa de las leyes
la culpa
extranjero.
la culpa la tenemos nosotros, que
Ah,
permitimos que existan
bueno.
este tipo de jugadores que no pueden jugar en su país en una selección y vienen a jugar aquí a la selección.
Y entonces rápido, antes de pasar con el pollo, ¿por qué Javier Aguirre ha llamado a naturalizar?
Eso es problema del técnico.
Bueno.
Que yo esté de acuerdo,
Pero si no tenemos
o
nada
que
que
no
ver
esté de
eso.
acuerdo, esa es otra cosa. Ese es problema del técnico.
Ya. Entonces, para ti, Quiñones no debería ser
A
convocado.
ver, también
No,
vamos a poner las cosas en su justo medio. Vamos a poner las
debería
cosas en
ser
su justo
convocado
medio.
o no Quiñones.
Mira, Quiñones juega en una liga, ¿sí? En Arabia.
Patito.
Y no, yo no voy a hablar de partido. Nada más, fíjate con qué jugadores juega. No hagas una comparación tan ilógica. Ve con los jugadores que juega y ve con los jugadores. En México no ha pasado nada con Quiñones, ¿eh? No me vengan hoy que.
No ha pasado
uy,
nada.
está haciendo goles,
Fue
está
cam-
muchísimo.
no pasó, fue campeón, ¿de qué me hablas?
No, con la selección. Escucha.
No, pues escúchate tú. Escúchate tú porque dices que no ha pasado nada. En
con
selección.
la selección.
¿Y con quién sí ha pasado, Carlos Hermosillo?
Bueno, pero si no ha pasado nada con Santi Jiménez, no ha pasado nada con Charlie, no ha pasado con nadie, pues bueno, entonces, si tú,
Mira.
si tú vas a decir, me vas a decir,
Estos son factos, diría un amigo. Con los que se codea
yo los tengo
Quiñones.
aquí.
Con lo que se codea Quiñones.
pero
Ya.
también oiga, productor, pongan también con factos con quién juegan.
Factos.
¿Con quién juega?
Factos.
Nada más, y quieren hoy.
Esperaba esa respuesta. Un no, otro.
So heated debates on Fox Deportes, but obviously Carlos Hermosillo feels this type of way around the naturalizados, and how we're so quick to call them up to the national team. It's like, why? Why are we allowing that to happen? But wanted to open that up for you guys on the panel.
I mean, the big debate here is what is a Mexican, or who is not even a Mexican, but Mexican enough to represent Mexico, right? Is it a refugee who came to our country and has lived here his entire life and has gone through the citizenship process? Is it a youth player who was scouted abroad? But let's keep in mind, these kids come here at 13, 14, and they start living their lives in the casa clubs and earning their way in life in Mexico as a soccer player. Is it the kid, the son of a former soccer player who was born in a different country, but then has to move as a young child to Mexico, has lived his entire life there, has had siblings born in that country, has sworn loyalty to that country, and now is eligible to represent that country? I guess those are the questions that we're asking. Or are you saying que quiero puros pinches frijoleros, indios, like quiero puro pinche Nacho Cuaro en mi equipo?
Abdias, lo acabo de decir, güey. ¿Comen frijoles o no? That's the criteria. Like, you look at a guy like, I know Guignac he's not naturalizado, but let's use his example, right? Let's say he wanted to play for the national team. He is a talented player, yes, but he's a guy that has embraced the Mexican lifestyle to a T. Like, he's brought his entire family. Like, he's fully engulfed Mexican, if you ask me. But these guys like Fidalgo, I don't think he's a Mexican. Why? We're not. Let's be honest as well. Mexico's not winning shit, right? We're not going to win. Why don't we put our boys out there? Like, give the spot and the opportunity to a real Mexican, someone that is born in the country, someone that has made their alguien que picó piedra in the youth leagues in Mexico, that was born in Mexico, that that is a legitimate Mexican and can trace we'll call it their lineage to Mexico. If we give it to some guy because he's having a good season in Saudi Arabia or some other league, like how does that really move the bar? You know, it's not easy to say yes, this guy can make it, but if that's the criteria, we're just handing on naturalizados like here, left and right. Like I don't see how that's helping us in the long run. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Quinones is a bad example. He moved to Mexico at a young age, 17. He spent most of his life here. So I don't think he's like a good example here, but Fidalgo is a great example because, you know, he has been adamant about not really wanting to play for the national team. He like already shut it down quite a few times. He played in Spain. He's a Spanish player. He played for Real Madrid B, and obviously his most success has been at Club America. And obviously America has a way of imposing players and trying to basically force certain players onto the national team. I think it's pretty pathetic that as soon as he was eligible for his Mexican citizenship, we're over here trying to court him as a player. And now he's at Real Betis. So even more of a reason to call him up because he's playing in the most competitive league in the world, right? Aguirre even went on record saying that Obed Vargas, he wasn't really sure about him. He's playing in the MLS. But now that he's playing at Atletico Madrid, he can't ignore him. So I don't know. I think Fidalgo is a great example of a mercenary. Another great example is Germán Bertrame, right? He's doing well for Rayados, but these are players that just want the easiest ticket to the World Cup. They couldn't hack it for their own national team. Bertrame is never going to play for the Argentine national team, and Fidalgo is never going to play for the Spanish national team. So this is kind of like plan B. You weren't their first choice, and it's kind of pathetic they're over here trying to get them to convince them to play for this country when, we have plenty of talent that should be considered.
Yeah, man. I feel like there's a pass the vibe test, and what I mean by that is when you'll see like Inter Miami introduces Germán, they'll say el delantero mexicano, and you don't even believe it. Like you're like, come on, man, this guy. Or when Betis introduces Fidalgo, they're like el jugador mexicano. I'm like, come on, man. Like no one believes that shit. No one believes that they consider themselves Mexican above Spaniard or Argentine. They're just doing it for the World Cup. So I feel like, like Tomas was saying, Gignac does pass that vibe.
Yeah.
Even though he paid for France and stuff. So I think that's what you want. Like Signa passed that vibe.
Yep.
Like if I went and played in Europe and they said Jugador Mexicano, like you wouldn't think, nah, he's Brazilian. Screw that guy. No, like he passed the vibe. And I just feel like with Aguirre too, like if that's how it comes to, like what league they're playing, and it tells me that you really don't know what team you have or what style you want to play. Like you think you're building your team based off how the players complement each other, not what club they represent.
Wait, espérate. Who's that?
Who's what?
Who was the person who just spoke? I don't recognize the name.
Stop it, dude.
Hey man, just enjoy it because once this episode's done, it's going back to something else. I haven't decided on what.
I think Joel's trying to get back in.
The Mexicans trying to get back in. Not surprising.
One thing, what's it called? Someone said that like, how did this happen? How did we get these mercenaries, right? And so, like, how did it happen? It was like it happened in a panic. We had these sacred cows that sucked, that weren't performing the way they used to, and there was no youth being played in the league. And then the Jóvenes rule came to be, and now we're seeing the fruits of that finally, right? But like it happened because there was no one else. There was no one else, and the federation panicked, and it started courting anyone and everyone. And that is good and bad. Bad in the sense that our identity is in jeopardy, but also good in that we've added some real quality. I think Julián Quiñones is an amazing player. tearing it up in the league of Saudi Arabia. I think he benefits almost any squad he comes to. I think Colombia he could even play for Colombia. Fidalgo less so, but he's a good player too. But the thing is like I think once you get like past two, like you're like te estás pasando, like one or two, Sinha and someone else, right? Or maybe just one, because we do have players and there's a lot of them that are catching fire and I think I don't want to be xenophobic. I don't want to be xenophobic, but I think I'm a little more partial towards the one that grew up loving this team, whether that's in the United States or in Mexico. But I do want someone who loved it since the cuna,
Yeah, we'll see if Joel's mic is working now.
Yeah, it works. It works, gentlemen. To me, it sounded like Hermosillo was
Salty.
kind of salty. Yeah, man. Correct word. Yeah, he was salty. I think he got left out. What was it? I don't know. It feels like it feels like he got left out of some stuff.
In his era, though, they didn't have naturalizados, man. Maybe is Zague considered naturalizado? Was he born?
No, he was born.
He was born.
No,
yeah.
wait. No, I don't know if
He's
he was
Brazilian,
born in Mexico.
right?
That's a good because dude, Spanish is still very.
No, he's definitely Brazil or born in Brazil, but he's another one of those guys that
he said he was. Wikipedia says he was born in Mexico City.
Well, then he grew up in Brazil, right? So he probably he was just born there, and then he
because isn't Sague Junior?
Yeah,
his dad was Brazilian forward.
Exactly.
But he played for America.
Exactly. His dad played for America. Sague was born in Mexico while his dad was playing in America and then grew up in Brazil.
It said that he started his youth career at Corinthians, but then
there you go.
In 85, he debuted with America.
His Spanish never got any good, bro.
His what?
His Spanish, like he just, I guess he didn't care to learn.
I see.
I know he must speak a lot of Portuguese. I mean, because dude's been in Mex for.
Well, he was born there.
Now, man.
He's 58.
Yeah, but I mean.
He's probably spent the majority of his youth in Brazil, or kind of going back and forth, and they got that fucked up Spanish. But
they probably speak Portuguese at the house, and that's probably why.
Yeah.
But I actually, this would be some really good trivia. Who was the first naturalizado in Mexico?
There's always been, bro. Since you gotta go.
Really? But like to make it to make it to the World Cup, I think it was Caballero, no?
No, since before.
Nah, dude. I don't think we had naturalizados on the World Cup roster until Caballero in 2002.
There's only something we could use to check.
I'm gonna check Chapin real quick.
I don't know about Chapin.
Hey, they must haven't been that great if you can't even remember them. So even
because it's going
historically, it's Gabriel Caballero, Ciña, Franco. Who else have we taken? Did Funes Mori go in the last one?
For the record, Funes Mori.
Funes.
But I think that's the whole argument, right? It's like it is a panic buy or a break glass in case of emergency. Why? Because I don't even want to say that you're noticing this, because you're too fucking stupid to realize that your domestic product isn't yielding a new crop, right? That the way that you're working isn't giving you what you need. So therefore, you constantly turn to this, honestly, extreme option, which we have now normalized and we go to constantly. Now, my belief is that there's nothing wrong with them, but you have to use them sparingly. Like it was said before, I'm so far as willing to go as 3. I'll allow you 3 on your main squad.
But look, Hermosillo, this sounds salty. He does sound like a boomer just going on a hate rant with no facts. The way he was talking about like 1 year and they're like naturalizados when they're 5-year process now. But one thing I will also add to that is, are the guys that you're bringing in to the point where like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, like they're so much better than what we have. Like for example, Fidalgo. You had Turco that said that if Marcelo Ruiz was born in another country, he would already be playing for a top European club. Like, does Fidalgo give you much more than what Marcel gives you? And you're gonna have America fans say Fidalgo gave us a tricampeonato. Marcel Luis is bicampeón. So I mean, is he that much better? Is he that much better
Why
than
not both?
Marcel?
¿Sabes la diferencia?
But why not?
Que
both?
Fidalgo
Like, is it
juega en Europa y Marcel no.
Why not take both
That
players?
is a good point, and it's the same thing with Julian. Julian, he's great, and I think Julian is probably one of the more Mexicans out of all of them. The way his kids, the way he gets pissed off, not being called up to the national team. I actually have no beef with him. He's probably the one that thinks that is the more Mexican out of like Germán and Fidalgo.
Mm.
But same thing is like does he give you more than what we have on the wing? Like, is he that much better, or is he up there? Like, I don't think right now. To me, Sina, we didn't have we had Blanco and Sina, like similar level style. But obviously, La Volpe had that beef with them.
Yeah.
But if you took Blanco out of that list, there was no one that was Mexican that gave you the same talent that Sina gave you. With the ones that we're currently calling up, I'm not fully sold that they're much better than what we have.
Yeah, I think in terms of Germán Berterame, I don't think he adds anything that we don't already have. Like, Raul Jimenez is our best striker right now. He's in form. He's scoring week in and week out. And if it comes to a penalty kick, this is your guy you want behind the ball. After that, it was supposed to be Santi Jimenez, but he's injured and he's took a gamble going to AC Milan. It didn't work out. I guess number 2 right now would be Quiñones, but Aguirre doesn't play him as a striker. And that's where I guess Berterame and Hormiga could be fighting for a spot for that spot. But I much prefer Hormiga Gonzalez over Berterame. And as far as Fidalgo goes, I mean, the midfield is quite packed. There's a lot of competition, and I think that's going to be Aguirre's nightmare to decide who his definitive midfielders will be. But maybe Rifaldo has some more, I don't know, IQ into this. Do you think Fidalgo adds anything that we aren't currently getting with the current crop of midfielders?
Now, hold on, really quickly, just to add to that question is, Rifaldo, would you take Berté over Santi? Or what do you think of that duel between the two? Because of right now, I think that's donde se pierde el tiro, ¿verdad? Entre esos dos naturalizados.
I think Fidalgo adds a shit ton to our midfield, which is why I'm like, I can't complain too much. He's really good at filtering the final pass. And he, I think the proof is in the pudding. He won 3 campeonatos or 3 Liguillas with Club America. So he's good. He's way better than Charlie. And he's a great facilitator or conduit for us to build our possession. And now, as far as Berterame, I feel bad for Bert because he's playing with Messi now in Miami. And I feel like he could play for Argentina now if Messi likes him. And he fucked up choosing Mexico. But as far as him, I think he's good. He's a good player. I think he's a little bit behind Santi, who's injured, unfortunately.
Damn, bro. You had to pin him against Charlie, and I'm like, who the fuck do I hate more? I will take a Fidalgo over Charlie. I'm putting that on record right now, bro. That's how much I hate Charlie.
Here you go, Jaime. Julio Lores, Peruvian.
What?
Played 1935 and 1938, 6 games.
We didn't go. I'm talking about World Cup roster, dog.
Oh, to go, because dude, but that's because Mexico didn't go to all the World Cups. They got eliminated.
I have to fact check this, but Carlos.
But there's ChatGPT is just gringo stuff. So if none of the pochos have put anything, nothing's gonna show up. I don't know if you could do
Well, it says that
Mexican ChatGPT.
It says that in Mexico's first World Cup, 1930, Carlos Lara was born in Spain.
Carlos Lara, yeah, that's a different guy. This is Julio Lo. But there's been a long list. So, I mean, it's nothing new getting people into the national team and playing, suiting up for the national team. I just think it became a big issue in like the last years. Last years. I think around the time of Senior, there was controversy. Some people forget, but there was a lot of controversy, despite how good he was, with Toluca, there was a lot of people not satisfied.
Yeah, I think the controversy was he could have took both, but he decided to go with his Nuero, Chiquis Garcia, right?
Oh, yeah, well, that's the other thing that I disliked, because then the media does that and they'll pit players like, he left this guy, and it's like, not really. The coach is the one that's leaving them out, not because someone came in. That means that
Aguirre is the one that opened up the floodgates, because it had been decades.
Yeah.
In 2002 with Machucas Caballero. Because prior to that, I mean, they went decades without using naturalized.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because it came from a time when Mex had been having a lot of success, because 99 is when they win the Confeds. They had already played a Copa America final. So they survived Group of Death in 94, survived another giant group in 98. And then by 02, you know how the Mexican media gets. It's like, we suck again. And I think that was part of it as well. It's like, there was no need. We didn't really need players, because the team has been showing that they can, the homegrown boys have shown that they're more than capable. And I think that was one of the big controversies back then.
Oh man, I just look back at why we take Caballero. Why did we take Franco? I understand he was he at Villarreal by then? I know Franco was in Europe by that in 06. I mean, Guille Franco, and then he took him again in 2010.
I think these coaches,
with Aguirre, I mean, when he refers to himself as his family, he has an interview where he says, "Nosotros también éramos inmigrantes," like referring to his parents moving from Spain to Mexico. And if you also look at like his kids, he has like 3 sons. Their names are Iker, Ander, and Iñaki. They're not Juan, Jose, and Pablo, man. They're like Spanish, like Basque region names.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could also tell you that he's a Mexico coach, and he talks like a Mexican, but he also has a strong connection to his like Spanish roots.
Yeah.
So that line of patriotism is not as defined for him than it might be for you.
And it's a lot, not just him. There's many more. Manolo Lapuente. There's a lot in Mexico, especially if you go more far back. All these families that were tied to clubs. It was very, a lot of Spanish expats.
I have a question. Why is it so controversial that Mexico does this, but this has been a thing for France? I think France is the biggest abuser of this rule. Germany at one point too. I know Podolski and Klose aren't German. They also brought in an African player too for the 06 World Cup, and that was controversial. But all these other countries do it, and no one bats an eye. But it's a big deal in Mexico. Is it because we were colonized? Like, what is it?
No, I think this could be a whole episode by itself. I shared a post the other day where it said like the 3 most difficult manager jobs in sports are Real Madrid number 3, Manchester United number 2, and England number 1. And I said like these guys must have never heard of the Mexico job. The Mexico job is super difficult because one, you play in a region where you're like the king, so people expect the king to always dominate. But when you go face other kings or other people above you, the World Cup, you always like leave your fans disappointed. Now, are you leaving your fans disappointed because they have false expectations, or you're not living up to your potential? And I think that's the thing with the Mexico fans. Like, we're like, we don't need naturalizados. We're a soccer country. We have all these millions and millions of people, which there's like an argument to be made to that. But at the same time, is like, are we as good as we think we are?
I think the other thing too, with like the example Jaime of France, on surface level, like a lot of those, France is like 70%, like just call it like African, right? And you would think that they're not French, but technically by the if we're being technical, a lot of those guys were born in France. Like their parents were probably came on a boat from Senegal, like Pogba. You wouldn't think that's a typical Frenchman, but he was born in France. Whereas these guys in Mexico, a lot of them, maybe they migrate there, they play there, but I don't know if a lot of them are being like truly born there. They're kind of ambiguous. I don't know. It's a little different.
It is an issue.
They're winning. You can't complain when you're winning.
It is an issue, and it started, to become an issue after the Boston ruling in the mid '90s, because every country, even though they were in the European Union, they had different immigration policies. Now, some of the Western European countries like France and stuff like that had more colonies, they were getting the more influx of the North African and the West African players. So it started to become a problem even for then. Now, obviously in Mexico, it's an issue because there's a team that we call Chivas that has a Mexican-only policy, and for historical reasons, the reason why that club exists, because the Mexicans early on were facing discrimination. If Chivas, if that didn't happen early on in the history of the league, you wouldn't have a Chivas, and you also wouldn't have a presidential decree of limiting the foreigners. Because, for example, when the quote-unquote professional league opened up in 43, if memory serves me, I think there was only like 2 or 3 Mexicans that played it, like that lined up. And there was that famous general from Atlante that basically said, bullshit, that ain't gonna happen. And that's where they started putting pressure, and they put that presidential decree saying that you guys have to have more Mexicans. So that's why it is an issue in Mexico, but it also is an issue in Europe, and it has been for the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Ron. I was just gonna add that how I think that's like an underlying fear of Mexicans losing control of the league of the soccer to foreign born, because like you said, when the league started and all these teams were pretty much from people that came into Mexico, and then by the time, I'm guessing like 60s, 70s, it had becoming more, or else you just lose it all over again. And you're kind of seeing it because you're seeing these teams that are foreign owned again now. They're owned by, how many teams is it? 3 maybe? Or they're owned by foreigners now. So I think that's been one of the issues.
Yeah, that comment about Turco saying, "Oh, if Marcel Ruiz was, a different race, he would already be in a big team in Europe." And I'm like, if he's good enough to play for a big team in Europe, then a big team in Europe will come knocking. I don't care what league you play in. If you're balling out,
Yes. Fuck those.
attention will be drawn to you. Gil Mora is balling out. He's getting rumored to all kinds of teams. Hormiga Gonzalez is on Feyenoord's radar. Marcel Ruiz, if he's balling out, if he's as good as Turco says he is, then trust me, the offers will come a-knocking.
Kikín left. Kikín left to Portugal.
No mames, güey. También, no. Espérate. Kikín was good at a certain point, okay? Like, there was a point where Kikín was on fire. And then he crashed very fucking fast and hard. But, like, there was a point where he was good. All right? And that was in Pumas.
At Pumas he was good, but it never translated to the national team.
And then he just cashed it in.
He scored the header against Portugal, and they're like, we must bring him to our country. But
and like he was decent at Cruz Azul. You know, like he did some work.
Back. Yeah. He ended up playing more games for Cruz Azul than Pumas, huh?
Yeah, he did.
Shit.
Yeah, Cruz Azul.
He went to Tigres, he went to Atlante. He went to a few teams out there.
You guys are masterpieces.
Kikín is the type of player that gives you hope that you can go pro.
Oh wow, he actually played. He played 80 games for Pumas, and that was honestly when he was in his bag. I remember he broke his like collarbone or one of those, like he had like a weird injury, and they were considering him being ruled out for like Liguilla. Then he went to Cruz Azul, which was a big surprise, especially after like the World Cup, or during the leading up to the World Cup. And then goes to Benfica, plays 8 games. Then he spends a lot of time in Tigres, 109 games at Tigres, then Atlante, and then Santos de Guapiles. What the fuck where is that? Costa Rica.
That's when you stop following. That's when you're like, nah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, he scored 21 goals for the national team. That's a pretty impressive. His appearances to goal ratio is pretty high. 43 appearances, 21 goals.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look, he's an easy fucking punching bag, all right? Like, the fact that fans made him cry, like, it's a great fucking
cry?
thing. Yeah. Because I know Ron remembers the chant that they sang to him. They still make fun of him every now and then when he goes to cover Pumas. Se la cantan, that he traded everything for just a couple pesos. Like it was, because he was a fucking legend at Pumas, and then he goes to Cruz Azul, and it guts the entire fan base, and it's a fucking mess.
Going back to Marcel Ruiz.
All right, espérate. También, you said if he was in another race, de Turco say que si era negro o qué pedo?
No, I think born. I think Turco said
dijo otra nacionalidad.
Yeah.
Fue lo que dijo. Now, really quickly, Marcel Ruiz earlier was rumored to a couple Brazilian teams, and then nothing came of it.
It was Palmeiras, and it was also a championship team in England, Ipswich. I can't even say the word.
Ipswich
Town. Yeah.
Ipswich.
I think it's because Mexicans don't see the Brazilian league as an upgrade. It's maybe like a side lateral.
It's a lateral move at best.
What?
But you have to realize, man, Palmeiras, they're selling youth players for 80, 50, 60 million. The Colombian Richard Rios, they sold him to Europe, to Benfica, like for 20, 25 million. They're doing, Palmeiras alone is doing much more than what most Liga MX teams are doing combined. So I think it's a little bit of ignorance too. You know, Palmeiras comes knocking on your door. They're consistently selling players to Europe for high fees. They're consistently competing in Libertadores and the Brazilian league. I don't think that's a move I would completely ignore, like without thinking. I think I would actually give it some thought.
But it's so much more comfortable staying in Mexico, getting paid a bag, and winning 2 chips in a row than it is going to a country where you don't know the language, that you're a nobody, and that you are in probably the most competitive position, which is the midfield, right? So I think for him, it was an easy, no, thank you. I'm going to ball out here in Toluca and go straight to Europe instead of potentially risking my career right now.
Would you rather him go to MLS?
No, I mean, I think he had 2 legitimate offers, right? Going to the championship, I don't know, man. I haven't seen a Mexican do that yet, and I haven't seen it pan out. So, you say that the championship is as competitive as some first division leagues. I do agree, but
Miguel
Layun played for
went to the championship.
It was Watford, no?
In the championship.
I thought it was first division.
No, championship.
I mean, but he didn't really play there that long. It was weird. He got transferred and then transferred again, in a short.
Pero tuvo los huevos para irse para allá.
Are you sure?
To the championship.
It was the championship, or did they go to the Premier League?
No, a la segunda, güey.
Oh.
Jugó en la segunda.
Giovanni also played in that. He didn't do that great.
Yeah, but he was loaned out. That was different.
But still, he didn't do that great.
Yeah.
It's not to be the old head here, but I think that's what happened.
It's different when you're on a big club and then you go loaned out to a smaller club, because that is not a permanent move, right? But in the championship, there's only three teams that get promoted directly. Or I think the top two get promoted directly, and then the third has to play in a playoff. So there's no guarantee that you're gonna go to the Premier League, right? So you could just get stuck in the championship. And that's.
But we did have a Mexican in the Championship League. It was Miguel Layun for Watford.
Yeah, Diaz just said that.
Oh, my bad.
No. Just proves my point. Que si tienes huevos, y como hemos dicho mil y un veces, güey, if you can ball, you will shine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did. He fucking Layun, took a bet on himself and went.
Layun has an Italian passport, though.
So all right. If you're about to start pulling receipts, y también de que viene de dinero, and exactly. he's well off, I get it. All right. Don't get Ron triggered, way, porque la palabra hijo de papi is very close.
It's a luxury that Marcel might not be able to afford. Less wages at Palmeiras or some second division English club. It might be a luxury he cannot afford, and that's the reality for a lot of the professional Mexican players in Liga MX.
Bro,
the pay cut is real.
You know that they would have ran circles around him in Brazil. You know that was what was gonna happen. He ain't taking that fucking gamble.
I don't know, but Marcel is such an interesting case because he went pro with Querétaro at 15, and he did not receive nowhere near the hype that, for example, Il Mora received. And then he stayed consistent, playing first team minutes with Querétaro, hearing his move.
I don't think he debuted that young, dude. I think he was.
Pretty sure he was 15 or 16 tops,
18.
man.
It says 18.
Marcel Ruiz with Querétaro?
Yeah, he was born in the year 2000. He made his senior debut, when he was 18 years old.
No way. Then who am I confusing him with?
Also, I don't think they would have ran laps around him. America just bought Viega from I think Palmeiras or one of the Brazilian clubs, and he's not tearing up the league. There's been an interchange of players, mostly from there over here. Once in a while, a Brazilian will send them back, or a Colombian or Uruguayan will send them to the Brazilian league. But they don't tear it up. They're not infinitely better or worse. So I think he would have succeeded.
Wait, the only reason why Flamenco beat Cruz Azul at the International Cup or whatever they're calling it, what used to be the Club World Cup, was because Cruz Azul shit the bed themselves. All right? Piovi did a bad pass in the back.
What else is new?
Exactly. Other than that, they didn't push our shit in. All right? It was a competitive match. It was even.
I forget who. I think it was Pachuca or someone else who beat the Brazilian champs.
Pachuca beat Botafogo.
Exactly, and they were Copa Libertadores champions, and everyone shit on Botafogo and praised Pachuca. So I don't think the difference is night and day, is what I'm trying to say. I'm sure Brazil is a very good league, Serie A in Brazil, but they're not infinitely better than us.
For the record, if anybody wants to watch the Brazilian league, you can watch it on Paramount Plus in English. You can watch it on ViX Plus in Spanish.
Watch what?
The Brazilian league.
Oh.
Hey, don't promote VIX in here, man. Don't money like that.
Hey! I'm just letting you know. Like, there's an English option and there's a Spanish option.
I watch.
All right, it's out there.
Yeah, I caved in and got VIX, and it's kind of been a lifesaver in some ways, just because Univision and TUDN it kind of got dropped by everybody except Hulu, and I think also DirecTV stream. So yeah, there's not too many options for us.
Here's my question: how many times have you had to uninstall and reinstall the app?
More about like force kill the app and then having to. The thing that pisses me off about VIX, and unfortunately other streaming services are starting to do the same thing, as even though you're paying for the no ads version, they force you to watch like a 14 to 15 second ad before they go to the live stream, which is bullshit, bro. It's like, yo, I'm paying for the ad-free version and you're forcing me to like a 15-20 second delay, and that means a lot in like when it comes to soccer, dude. You're missing out on a whole fucking goal.
Yeah, and worst thing is, what if my stream takes a giant shit? I have to close it and go back in.
Yeah.
Now I have to watch this fucking like 2-minute ad over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
no, man.
terrible.
Like every platform that covers Mexican soccer and has to deal with VIX fucking hates it.
Yeah, VIX is very, very bad. I keep seeing though the product placement for Amazon. I mean, even to the point where when they have the balls on the sideline, they're on top of an Amazon package, and I'm like, dude, Amazon's really trying to court Liga MX, and I hope they can figure out a collective deal, because that would be fucking awesome.
I hope Apple takes it, dude. That's my hope. I hope Apple takes it and just runs with it, because it'd be a beautiful thing.
They would be stupid not to.
Is Televisa tied to VIX in any way?
Yeah.
Owned.
I mean,
owned.
Okay, so in that case, I don't think that happens because VIX goes under. I mean, the money would have to be really enticing for them to willingly let VIX go under.
Let's be honest, man. The VIX app is a piece of shit.
It is a piece of shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't buy it. Like, that's what I'm telling the listeners. Don't get VIX. Go.
Like, it's so bad.
It's really bad.
You know what? And save your money and go get one of those hookers that Albert talked about last week. Money much better spent, because this fucking app is worse.
Yeah, VIX is really bad. It's probably one of the worst streaming apps that I've ever encountered. Even Tubi is better than VIX.
Neta way, at that point, just pirateria all day. Like,
I was watching Leagues Cup on Apple TV, and it was so beautiful. The definition,
crisp,
the interface of the app, like everything was just phenomenal. And what they have to display is a shit product, which is MLS for the most part.
I know.
So if they could up their game, they have the platform. Is what I'm trying to say.
It's super crisp, man. Like the quality is great, and I went into an Apple store last year and I had some time to kill while they were setting up my phone. And I got to try the Vision Pro, like their VR experience. And they had, dude, they've been doing this the whole fucking time. They are recording footage for like VR experiences. And one of them was like an MLS game. But you were like in the goal. It was like the craziest, most immersive experience. I was like on the sidelines and Steph Curry was shooting a 3. And I'm like, holy shit, bro, this experience is so fucking, I forgot that I was in an Apple store at one point. And I'm like, dude, they're working on creating content for like VR. I know we're still in the early stages, but imagine if you could get like, El Piojo Herrera on the fucking sidelines and you're like in the living room with him, or fucking watching, Hormiga score a goal and then celebrate with his fucking Dragon Ball Z shit. And dude, it's, yeah, the possibilities are endless.
Ron wants that VR experience. He wants to be in the lone chair in the motel room, sitting in the corner.
The green hotel chair room.
He wants to watch.
Hey, Real Madrid signed a deal with Apple TV for that.
Did they?
They said that their goal is for any Real Madrid fan around the world to tune in during a live game and feel like they're at the game.
Yeah.
They signed that a few months ago.
It feels like you are there, though. It was tripping me the fuck out, bro.
Ahora, guapo, really quickly, if you want to further experience this feeling, what's it called? Apple TV just signed F1.
I heard.
So all of this experience that you're getting with MLS, salud, you're gonna be able to get with Formula One.
Yeah, I know you were
Are
just
you
talking
standing
about
on
it.
the side, or are you sitting next to the driving?
Wait, I'm in it and it vibrates.
You're just like, hey, instead of watching like the race, you're just you keep switching to the ones where they're in the pit, changing the tires. Like, yeah, feel the vibrations.
Yo, bro, don't ask me what I do with my headback suit, okay?
Oh my god, yeah. Ready
It's
Player
crazy
One.
that they're filming stuff. So you want those dudes that climb the tree to watch a soccer game?
Oh my god.
You're watching it from a tree just outside the stadium, or that apartment. Remember, there's a Premier League team that there's like an apartment that.
There's one in Madrid in the town of Vallecas or Rayo Vallecano, and there's an apartment building that sees right over the stadium, and so like you could even like sky the ball as you're aiming towards goal and hit the apartment, like the people watching from the apartment.
Yeah.
And,
Damn.
Pretty crazy.
I remember Luton Town, the team that got promoted to the Prem League. Like, you had to go through like people's like homes to get inside the stadium, bro. It was like, what the fuck, dude?
I think this desmadre with Liga MX, you know, this VR experience, it's going to extend way past the game.
Yeah.
The Barra Brava fight outside the stadium.
Or like the, you know,
people
when
getting stripped naked.
they confiscate your bell at the entrance. And then right when there's about to be like a play, the fucking guy with the cerveza or the fucking maruchan gets in your
Doritos.
way. You're like, God damn it, bro. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, bro, gringos are going to Puerto Vallarta right now. You mean to tell me that they don't want this experience?
Yeah.
Like,
you're like in the
this would
Santos
easily
Morelia
sell.
game, where they have that shootout.
God,
I got a
legendary
question.
moments.
I got a question. I got a question for you guys.
A ver.
Do you guys remember watching the league 05, 06, 08 to 10 around that time frame?
Of course.
Now, did you guys watch it on Univision or did you guys watch it on Sky and Televisa?
I watched it on Univision.
Yeah, I should kick your
So
ass
you-
for saying
Canal 5
So you
y
guys.
Canal de las Estrellas.
So my point is like I don't understand why you're advocating for Apple TV or another service, because if anything, and I've been saying this, I want it to how it was before, where you could pretty much, because we were spoiled for a good while. We were spoiled, at least the viewers here in the U.S. side, because you had Univision, Galavisión, Telefutura, which were all Univision.
Telefutura, Azteca.
But then Dish came out with 13 with TV Azteca, and it got to the point where you basically you could watch the entire league with just those four channels.
The Mexican broadcast, you mean?
Yeah, because Salinas in Azcárraga, they made out a deal where like for example, so 1 year the one team, the team that would get promoted would get the rights, and they would just switch it every other year. So for me, I just seeing all these goddamn streaming services, and to a certain degree, I do agree with you guys. VIX, the app does kind of suck. But before VIX, I was forced to get VIX because I didn't want to miss, some of the, the games like with America and stuff like that. But I was also forced to get fucking Fubo or whatever that is. And I thought that was a shitty fucking. Other than fucking soccer, I'd never watched anything else that they had to offer. And it seems like same Same thing. I have fucking Peacock. I have Peacock. Do you think I really fucking care about Peacock? The only time I watch it when I was forced to watch it because I wanted to watch America Chivas.
Wow.
And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's like, so to me, it's crazy that, and the reason I go back is because, you know, and that's because obviously I met a lot of the Televisa guys, you know, when I would cover games in Mexico and obviously in the World Cup and see the technology they had. Not for nothing, but they have great technology. They were way ahead of the curve in terms of like, even with some of the, like the European, you know, broadcasters and stuff like that. So, I mean, personally, I wish we would go back. I know it's never going to go back to what it was when it was like, you know, the TV, because
nah, dude, the floodgates have opened, my friend. That's not.
No, I get that. The streaming wars are still, you know, there's still the cord cutting and the streaming wars are still going to happen. But if anything, I wouldn't want it to go to Amazon. I wouldn't want it to go to Apple.
But have you actually watched content on those platforms? Because my guy, it is
Apple. I don't have Apple, but I have a couple of friends that do. So I have visited, but like I told you guys, I wasn't going to spend money on the Leagues Cup. So I watched it a couple of times. Yeah. When I was with some friends, right? But nah, I don't believe in those tournaments. I think they're bullshit, fucking Mickey Mouse tournaments.
Don't knock it till you try it though, because
though, Ron, the quality.
We're talking about the quality, not the content, but the quality.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that I don't see their quality in terms of how they present games better than Televisa. I'm sorry. No,
well, it just depends because
bro.
It depends if you cut it.
Hold on, are you watching it in English or in Spanish?
Because if you're watching it in English, that's a whole different story. But the Spanish broadcast is good.
I don't fucking watch. I try not to watch anything.
Do you like Bracamontes and Torre? ¿Cómo se llama? Pablo.
Pablo.
Yeah, Pablo and Chuy. Because they're on Apple TV in Spanish.
También Rodolfo Landeros.
That's not a good one, but the ones in Spanish I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and the quality's better. And it's also like Apple actually has a lot of content post game and after game. Like they have all these like exclusives and all this other shit to keep you like obviously engaged in their platform. So you don't just, as soon as the game ends, you don't click off. So I've really enjoyed just the quality and how they present the games, and also kind of like the interface is a little bit cleaner. And then on Amazon, bro, like NBA is on Amazon, and sometimes some of the football games are on Thursday nights. And dude, like you can have like layers on top of the game that give you all these data, and it can actually tell you like how the play is running and stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is like, you can take it or leave it. You don't have to have those features on, but the fact that you have that option instead of watching like a 4080p stream from VIX with like ads and fucking ads inside the game, bro, and then the screen gets smaller in the game, and then it's a full screen ad. I'm like, oh god, bro, it's so bad.
I don't need a stadium with a swimming pool, a lounge, none of that. Call me old fashioned. I don't need any of that shit. You know. But what I'm saying is that
up hookers on the street, man.
Yeah,
I like content, dude. I like analysis. That's what I like.
I'll say this, and it'll appeal to you, like to your old head heart. You can actually watch full post-match interviews or press conferences that the coach gives without interruptions. Like every question that's asked, you can hear it clearly. It's fucking great, dude. It's a great product. All right.
I've seen a little bit of it. Like I said, I'm not gonna invest in MLS because I'll be honest. I don't fucking watch MLS. You know.
No, but I think the argument here is if Liga MX had that version. Like the thing with Apple TV, they even have like club.
Well, keep in mind they do
club, and then they have interviews with like the sporting director, players, behind the scenes. Like, you feel like you're getting your money's worth.
So here's the thing. You had Televisa back, 10, 15 years had something similar, but it was different. It was different from what we were seeing here in the U.S. to what we're seeing, for example, in Mexico. For example, here in the U.S. on the U.S. side, you would get that, but you would get that through República Deportiva. I don't know if you guys remember, like for example, the Sunday Cast, right? The Sunday Cast, you had a pre and then you had a post República Deportiva.
And all the
Okay,
senadoras.
So you were getting some of that. And then obviously you were getting some of the direct feeds from Televisa, like La Jugada and all that type of, all that type of stuff. But, after, like the recap and
I
stuff
used
like
to
that.
love La Jugada.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that that they couldn't do anything a little different. I'm just saying that I would rather consolidate rather than having Amazon, Apple, all this shit, dude. Because like I said, again, I agree with you guys. I think a lot of the apps are shit. Be it VIX, be it Fubo, all those apps. Obviously, Apple's got a really nice platform, because I had Apple before. But this is before the whole messy stuff like that. But I don't have Apple anymore because I just don't have any more Apple products. But that's just my take on that. I just, like I said, I'm disgusted with all this fucking cord cutting and all having to watch soccer with VIX, having to see the Peacock,
it got
worse. All that stuff. It is, and I'm disgusted by it.
Speaking about disgusting, what's the big thing that when VIX was first pitched and introduced, it was supposed to be literally the one service solution for everything, and then now, they fucking piecemeal everything, dude. Like fucking Univision, right? They hide their matches everything's supposed to be available on VIX, pero ¿sabes qué? No, güey. El América Cruz Azul lo tienes que ver en Univision. Y ¿sabes qué, güey? If you don't have like bunny ears or a fucking paperclip to put on the back of your TV, you have to get Univision now. Okay, el Toluca versus Puebla, pues ¿sabes qué, güey? Ese solamente lo puedes ver por TUDN. Y tienes que tener the TUDN subscription, o si no, se chingó, you can't watch that one. Y este de aquí, que solamente es exclusivo, entonces vamos a decir que es el Tigres Monterrey. Ese es exclusivo de VIX. Y you're like, pero espérate, güey. Entonces, ¿qué pedo? Es la misma compañía, pero me lo estás metiendo por el culo 3 veces.
But you're saying, but that's the same, for example, with Universo, Telemundo, and stuff like that. They're finding ways of fucking you. That's just, it seems that that's the model, and that's just not VIX. That's just across the fucking board, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'd rather watch, go to Facebook video and find a pirate feed,
Yeah,
for
real. Black market, man. I have.
No, it's funny. The guy's fucking joking with me. He's like, Ryan, you're buying fucking real estate. You can't afford a fucking stream. It's the fucking principle.
It is.
That's what fucking bothers me.
Dude, I have Paramount, Peacock, Fubo, and some other shit. I go to the black market to buy my accounts. I spend like $100 to have access to all of them, like for the whole year. So
now,
I need to plug. Let me know.
Jog my memory.
Really quickly, IPTV is what you want to know. Do your own research. Do what you want. El homie already said we got a plug here. IPTV. Start looking it up.
So jog my memory. The first one that basically got off the reservation was Pachuca, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I thought it was Chivas.
They basically, I want to say it was Pachuca and then Chivas.
Well, what did Pachuca do? They didn't come out with their own streaming service.
No. Meaning they didn't want to sign anymore with TV Azteca.
Yeah, I think they went to Fox.
If memory serves me, and I could be wrong, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you guys can correct me on this. I know that it was those two around. They kind of left at around the same time. Now, I don't remember. I'd have to look who Pachuca went with. But who did Chivas go with? Did they go with YouTube or who did they go with?
Chivas.
They did Chivas TV.
Chivas did Chivas TV, and it was like, oh, you don't need an app. You can just use your browser, and on the TV you can use the browser. And then their first game was against Boca Juniors, and it was horrible. Like the stream kept cutting off, and it was a horrible experience. And they tried this for like a season, and then they finally teamed up with YouTube, and the experience was much better. But yeah, for a while it was just Chivas TV.
So, but now they're with Telemundo,
Well,
right?
Chivas TV, and then they had to go back to Televisa because they were going to get sued by Bimbo because the contract was that they had TV, that they were getting TV exposure, so they had to go back at least to finish off the contract. And then it was kind of embarrassing. They had to be with they were like with 5 different channels. They were all over the place, just spread out all over Mexico.
Yeah, now it's
in the US, it's been Telemundo.
It's been
US.
Telemundo, Peacock, and then in Mexico it's Amazon Prime.
Yeah, finally. But even then, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't. To me, Chivas has to be on open air TV.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
The free channel, like on Televisa, the free channel. But I think even Televisa wouldn't put them on because it would give them probably more viewers. Because I think they have America on their pay, if I'm not mistaken. Like under cable.
So, I know that VIX, at least in Mexico, I'm not sure about here, but I know that VIX signed a partnership with Disney, which I'm not really too thrilled about, because that just means that, that just means that America is going to have to wear those every year, at least once a year. They're going to have to wear those colors, those rainbow colors.
Oh, that's always been a thing. When I was in Mexico, I was kind of.
No, but I mentioned that because Habib was busting my balls.
Hold on. Really quickly, since this has been brought up about that once a year rainbow colors things and all that, is El Chiquito Sanchez gay? Do you guys remember that? El Chiquito Sanchez. They used him. They used him for an LGBTQ ad.
Did they really?
They did. This last Pride Month, they used him and the cut was soy lo que soy. And like it was there, dude. Like
damn.
It was a very heavily implied.
Wow.
Do you guys deadass not remember this?
No, I don't.
No, I just remember those youth players getting kicked off because they were like, "El violador eres tú." They were mocking that song.
Oh, the girl.
Like the girl. They were like under 17 youth players and stuff like that. And they were just mocking that song, and they got.
They made like a TikTok or something. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Mexico, it's like a free for all, man. I see games on Tubi. I've seen games like you mentioned on Disney Plus, ESPN, and then I want to say like TNT as well. Like it's all over. And then there's like
they are moving towards
HBO.
one package.
HBO, yeah, and then like fucking there's like 2 or 3 Foxes out there. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
Bro,
man?
it's so bad that when Fox calls on Miguel Aguirre during the matches, he goes, espérate, ¿de cuál Fox eres? Like, he needs clarification to know which Fox they're from. And I think last time he asked was like, how many of you is there? And the answer was 6.
And Mohamed Turco also said the same thing. He wanted clarity. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Yep. So there was a rumor going around this week because River got rid of their coach. And of course, we've been down this path before with Gago and Boca. So, of course, the question must be asked, is Milito going to ditch Chivas and go to River Plate? The rumor...
he answered it, no? He answered it in the press.
PSD right there, man. That ain't happening.
What'd he say?
He said he...
Oh, sorry, let's go.
No, go on. You say it.
No, I was going to say he came out and said that he is very respectful of his contracts that while his goal is to finish out his Chivas contract, and if everything goes well, extend it, and he expects the treatment to be reciprocal. Like he doesn't expect Chivas to be negotiating with another coach while he's in charge. So the same way he's respectful towards the club, he expects the same treatment. But no, he's here for the long run.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Gago did that with a straight face and then fucking said deuces. So we.
No, he didn't say that. Gago just said that he didn't know anything about it. That he said he didn't know anything about Boca, or Boca had not contacted him.
No,
Yeah, but
wait, no.
that was a
Gago
lie.
did even something more fucking slippery than that. Gago said, I have a contract. I have a contract. I have a contract. I have a contract.
Mhm.
Sí, señor. Pero en tu contrato hay una cláusula de rescisión.
Yeah.
All right. There's an exit clause. And you're not going to hide
Yes,
behind,
sir.
I have a contract, which just so happens to have an exit clause.
Oh, I think I got the clip. Let me see if I can play it.
A cómo funciono. Yo estoy acá
Oh,
para cumplir mi contrato y si es posible y todo va como soñamos, extenderlo. Así lo marca mi historia como entrenador. Mientras trabajo, me centro y agradezco día a día a los que me eligieron por la oportunidad. Por lo tanto, respeto las decisiones de todo el mundo, pero de la misma manera que a mí no me gustaría, mientras que yo esté en funciones, que Javier o la institución busque otro entrenador mientras que yo esté trabajando, yo jamás escucharé a un club mientras que pertenezca a Chivas. Lo hice así en mi anterior paso en Atlético Mineiro, lo hice así en mis pasos anteriores en los distintos clubes que dirigí. Por lo tanto, en esta oportunidad no va a ser diferente. Será exactamente igual.
now that's nice and all, but factoring in the violence in Mexico, how easy of an excuse would be like, I no longer feel safe. I'm moving to back home and I'm going to take this position at River. Like how that could happen.
That's 8 million. The club would have to be like, you know what? I understand, because it is understandable. Can't blame the dude, especially because his family. And the club would have to release him because I heard it was 8 million clause.
And you gotta blame America for this, for saying the bar's so low, you know? Maximini or whatever his name is.
Oh,
He
my
made allegations of racism to get out of his contract. So what is racism compared to someone cutting your head off?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think he's you know, I don't think he's expressed that, like, I'm out, like, you know.
Nah, I think it's bullshit.
Mira,
I think it's just
really-
the media wanting to distract Chivas from their good form. I don't
Mira.
buy any of it.
Rapidito. Güey, didn't you hear his voice? Los huevos con los que habló sounded pretty clear.
He's
When Gago spoke, it was weird, man. Like, it
Oh,
was
how the
slippery.
side of his
You
mouth.
knew that it wasn't right. Like, that's the biggest thing. Now, Habibi, while I'm on board with you for the bashing of America and the pussy shit que hizo the maxi pad that they brought over from France, the real weakness here stands with Pumas. All right? Todo porque Aaron Ramsey perdió su Tyrion.
Oh yeah.
Fue por lo que se fue, güey. Entonces, que no te echen mentiras, güey. Fue su pinche terrano que perdió. Y por eso se quiso ir el güey.
That's funny. I completely forgot about that.
Hey, but in other
Wait,
news,
wasn't life good just a week ago? Terráneos y
Just
todo,
a couple
güey.
days ago.
Dude,
Yeah,
I see some
for-
videos
for
of that, and
us.
it's like, what the hell's going on, man?
I just wanted to touch on one thing, and that's that Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA, he stated that from my side, from FIFA's side, we have absolute confidence in President Sheinbaum in
Mhm.
Mexico. We are in regular contact with the presidency and authorities and continue to monitor the situation. So as of right, as things stand, you know, he didn't have to make the statement. He's like, he made it. And what does it mean? It's like it's business as usual. Like, it's not in jeopardy, but we're going to keep monitoring. Right.
Hey, as
So,
things stand, Rifado, one civilian died due to the whole cartel thing. 3 civilians have died due to the ICE thing. So Mexico's winning. Mexico's a lot safer.
I don't trust the numbers, brother. I don't trust the numbers.
Yeah, I think for Milita, I think he's being smart. I know if he stays in Mex, he can do his whole career there. I'm saying he has to, but hey, what's up?
El Beeper's here.
Is a man of honor, unlike
Yeah.
Gago. Gago just looked like a scumbag, but Milito, if he tells you he's gonna stay, he's gonna stay. But yes, you know, like Jaime said, you know, there's that window that maybe he feels unsafe with, you know, la gente del Mencho, you know, causing a ruckus in Guadalajara. But you know, I wouldn't look too much in that. I think, like I said, Milito's a man of his word.
Yeah, as he steals your fucking AC unit and heads back to River Plate con más plata en su fucking bolsilla.
I think
but Milito's from River. They're higher class than the Bosteros from.
Oh, that's true.
But I think the big thing with Gago was
Son los
his
millonarios.
His connections to Bragarnik, and I think they wanted to kind of get in there, get in Boca, and then try to make their way into the national team. So I believe they paid their own rescission clause. I don't think Boca paid it. I think it was Gago and Bragarnik that paid to leave, and they took that gamble and failed. And it's kind of, I think you'll kind of be walking into something similar at River right now if you're Milito. I mean, because they had a really good coach, Gallardo, and I don't know if it's just people just saying, but if he came to Mexico, that would be a huge plus for the league as well. Seems to be a good, there seems to be right now a really good batch of coaches, huh?
He has a good resume.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, he was very hot commodity up until a couple of years ago, but he's had to have been turning down many offers, and then when he goes to Saudi Arabia, I think he went Qatar somewhere.
He did, but the rumors are that Monterrey is in for him to replace their muerto. I forgot his name. The guy from San Luis.
Anyone in Mexico, I think, would get him, you know, and he would pay. I think he'll bring a lot. I think we're seeing some type of like renaissance in Mex with like
Dominic Torrent,
Milito, Larcarmon. There's all these great coaches right now, so it will be, you know, bring him on, man.
And Monterrey, you know, they have a lot of quality. They have a lot of money to spend on Gallardo, but they have a quality side that is underperforming year after year. You know, they need a liderazgo. And Gallardo, you know, he's won everything with River. And, you know, I think Saudi Arabia, he had a good time. He came back second stint with River, didn't do too well. I think he's got like, I don't know, like 10 losses in the last 15 games. But Argentina is such an anomaly right now because there's no money, you know, and so I think Gallardo wants to go to where they can pay him and they can pay to have the sort of plantilla that he needs. And so what better place in Monterrey? I think the stars are aligning. I think it's a strong possibility.
Yeah, Dominic Torrent, who, you know, has an impressive resume if you look at it on paper, right? Assistant coach at Barca and all that stuff, but honestly, he's been unimpressive. And yeah, I mean, the fact that the rumors are already happening about like who might be his replacement, that's not good.
I think the problem with Monterrey is that he's a really great coach, but he's more of like a hard ass, like a dictator. And these guys didn't come over from Spain to like cruise it out in the Liga MX to be like controlled by someone like that. You know, like Oliver, Canales, and all of them. They want to play well, they want to perform, but they're not here to be under a sergeant. You know, they're not in their eyes. They're no longer an elite European football. Why would they do it here if that's the reason why they left Europe to get paid well and just have fun? So I think that's the problem. The coaching vision doesn't match with the roster. So they need more of a Piojo Herrera, somebody that, you know, tickles their balls and tells them they're the best and lets them have fun.
It's crazy how many like coaches they've gone through, man. Like Rayados have had some decent coaches. Diego Alonso, fucking Torrent. Who else have they had? They've had Vucetich, right? He was King Midas.
They had the Micheli, they had Fernando, they had Ortiz.
Oh yeah,
Aguirre. Yeah, they have quite a share.
I'm surprised they didn't do well with Aguirre because Aguirre is like that type of coach that is not like a hard ass, super strict. I just think with Aguirre it was the same thing. Like he's used to coaching teams trying to survive. That when he's actually given a favorite at the title, he doesn't know how to act.
The funny thing about Aguirre is that they booted him out with his tail between his legs.
Yeah.
They're like, sálgueseme de aquí.
So the thing about Aguirre is that he is a bunker. You know, he plays bunker ball a lot. And he was trying to do that with Monterrey. And the thing is about Monterrey is that for all their quality, they're a bunch of fucking pecho frios. So it was never going to work.
Yeah.
And I thought Fernando Ortiz was going to do good. He only lasted a year there.
Yep. Yeah. Seems cursed club.
Well, from my conversations with people in Monterrey, they say that very much so that, right? The club is cursed. And when did this happen is when they moved from El Tec to El BBVA. When they did that, se chingó. And if you think about it, they haven't won a single championship in El BBVA.
Yeah, they did. 2019.
Did they?
Wasn't that against America?
Yeah, that was the one that Turco won.
Pero not at home.
Well, the first leg was at home. Come on.
No, I know, but since moving to
Pero es la cosa, güey. No han ganado en casa.
Oh.
Come on. That counts.
They've seen more people get crowned in their own home
that's
than
true.
any other team.
That I believe. When they move in.
Like, no ganan en casa. They see other teams win there. Like, that's the norm for them.
You know, coming from a Cruz Azul fan, that's just rich. You don't even have your own stadium.
I know, bro. I was like, wait, I thought Chivas were playing Cruz Azul. What are we doing in Puebla, man? Y'all need to get y'all shit together, bro.
Say what you might, pero pues sabes qué, güey, hace frío en la cima.
They've had 11 seasons at El Gigante de Acero. So.
Yeah, you're right, because I don't think, with Monterrey, I think you guys are right, because every time I always see those memes, there's always like these two memes. It's like, I was with your, what was it? I was with your girlfriend the other night. You know what I'm talking about?
Me acosté con tu mujer.
Me acosté con
or something like that. And the other one is, I creamed all over your sheets. Some shit like that. Some bullshit like that. But you're right. I think Monterrey. America. You know,
they've had a lot
there. Who else won?
They've had a lot of runner-ups.
Tigres.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tigres has won a bunch of games in there as well. Now that I think about it, yeah.
Yeah, they've definitely choked quite a bit over there. Runners up in 2016, 2017, 2024. So yeah, they've had a couple L's in that stadium. And I also heard it runs hot there too, because it's like, I don't know, just like the way they designed the stadium.
The streets call it La Olla Caliente.
At least they have that viral picture, though, that everyone sucks them off for. That's all they're known for, honestly, that picture.
Espérate, güey, ¿cuál?
The
The
one where it has
mountains in the background.
yeah, I forget what it's called.
Oh, okay. La Sierra. Fuck, wait. La Silla de Caballo.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll take your word for it. Well, that picture, where even when Mexico was announced for the World Cup, people were like, "Oh, soccer games are going to be played in the stadium. Look at it; it's so amazing, so beautiful." And that's all Monterrey is known for, just for that.
Yeah,
Iconic
that photo
picture.
did numbers, dog. There's some awesome photos of that stadium, honestly. I'm like jealous.
It's a wicked nice stadium, dude.
Yeah, but some of the photos they have, it doesn't even look real, bro. It looks like, what the fuck? Looks like AI.
It could be like a Champions League quality stadium, like when it's packed and the fans are going crazy. It has nothing to beg from like a top UCL stadium.
I'm gonna be super biased, but El Estadio Akron is also it's so gorgeous, and it's like once you're inside, bro, it's nice. It's a nice stadium, easy to get around. It's not claustrophobic at all, and they updated the lights, so the toilet bowl has like LEDs now, and I don't know. I love that stadium. Especially after going to the fucking shithole in La Ciudad de Mexico. God damn, that was a fucking horrible stadium.
Hey, Ron, talk to me about your stadium and how it looks against the renders.
Well, it was never really the facade. It was the interior functionality of the stadium that was going to get remodeled, and that they did in terms of basically the locker rooms, the egress, some of the suites, and that's really what it was for.
I thought the facade was part of the project. There was new masonry work, LEDs, screens, all of that.
But the essence of the outside was not really part of they obviously painted and they touched up some of the concrete, reinforced some of the concrete pillars and all that type of stuff. But the bulk of the work was supposed to be inside in one section of the stadium for the functionality and the circulation, right? Thinking about NFL, thinking about future international matches. And I mean, based off what I saw, I mean, they tore down about a good, I'd say about a good quarter of the stands to basically excavate and start putting all these columns and basically, doing the layout. So yeah, I mean, I see why they're getting a lot of criticism, but I just think a lot of the criticism is coming from people that don't really understand what's going on in terms of construction, in terms of design. Personally, I wouldn't want for them to change the facade because that's really what is iconic. And furthermore, I don't want to ruin the design intent of the original architect, Pedro Vasquez Ramirez, who I think is a phenomenal architect. And if you study his work in Mexico City, it's just art. I mean, it's beautiful. But I do understand that they do need to modernize, a lot of the facilities inside, and that's pretty much what they did. I mean, I wish they would have done the entire circulation inside the stadium, but obviously for feasibility and money, I mean, it's not in the car. It's not in the cars.
I heard some of the bathroom stalls didn't even have doors.
That's a feature, bro. They're Americanistas. Next thing are the holes connecting the stalls.
Actually, I, as an architect, if I'm designing
glory holes, I get it. It's the perfect feature to every restroom.
No, meaning there's bathrooms where you have like almost like a blockade. I mean, you're basically blocking obviously the view, but there are no doors and stuff like that. So I mean, that's very common in a lot of public spaces and stuff like that.
You know, talking about go for it, Ron. Sorry.
So I from what I was reading and stuff like that, like they wanted to make They wanted to make kind of like the entrance. You know how in the Monterrey Stadium, like how the players come up. You know, like up. You know, they go up onto the field like together.
Yeah.
Yeah, like on a ramp.
Yeah.
In a ramp, but for normally that was on one of the I don't remember it was the north side or the south side, but like the end zones. That's where you know that's where they used to have it. But from what I understand is that they want to have that more centralized, kind of like what more of the modern European stadiums have, where like basically they're coming in from the side and they're coming up, you know, going up the ramp or up the stairs like together. But yeah, again, like I said, I don't. For me, Azteca is the history. I mean, you can modernize it, sure, but I mean, who can say that you had Pelé and you had Maradona there? That's the selling point, as far as I'm concerned.
And potentially Messi and Ronaldo. Well, actually, probably not, because we're not going to host the final.
You know what?
So I mean, technically, for me, the selling point of Azteca is you have Pelé crown himself there. You know, cement his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
You had basically Maradona cement his legacy there, and on top of that, you have the game of the century, and you have the goal of the century.
But you know what? Modernity happens. Look in New York, Yankee Stadium, fucking Murderers Row, fucking Babe Ruth. Hey, that stadium got old. They built a new fucking shrine. You know.
Yeah, but Babe Ruth ain't. But no, not to Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth ain't Pelé. Babe Ruth ain't fucking Maradona.
Come on, bro. It's fucking Babe Ruth.
But
you told me
No
that.
mames, Rod.
But Yankee Stadium, all they did is tear it down and rebuild it like exact copy for copy.
You fucking rebuild it.
You tell me when Babe Ruth fucking stopped the war, okay, bud? Or stopped the conflict.
The fucking Rose Bowl's in fucking better shape than an Azteca. Azteca's a whole piece of shit.
I'm just saying. I mean,
everybody likes to be romantic. Oh, que allí metió la mano de Dios, que allí ganó. But the stadium's a fucking piece of shit. What they're doing now es una pinche manita. Como yo solo le hice a mi Nissan del 98, le di una pinche manita de gato. That's all it is.
No, so it's funny because I remember I got into an argument years, actually before the Germany World Cup, and they were talking about bashing Mexico stadiums. They were bashing Mexico that this is back then, right? That that Mexico shouldn't be holding any international tournaments and stuff like that. Actually, I'm sorry, this was after the fact. And I basically was making the argument that for the Germany World Cup, out of I don't remember how many stadiums that they had, but if memory serves me, all but 3 were basically stadiums older than what Mexico had. They just refurbished it. So Germany, for their World Cup, they only had 3 new stadiums. They had the one for the Munich one, right? The Alliance. They had the one, I believe, the Gelsenkirchen. I think I saw the Czech Republic and the U.S. there, and then I forget the other one. I think it was Leipzig. I think it was a new stadium, but built on the existing grounds. So, but every other stadium, Berlin, Dortmund, Nuremberg, all of them were stadiums that were far older than what any what do you call it, stadiums that Mexico had. They just refurbished them. So for me, in this particular case, Mexico has 2 new stadiums, which is the one in Monterrey and the one in the Akron, right? And obviously they have the Estadio Azteca. Estadio Azteca for me is like almost like the Berlin Stadium, which is just a historic stadium, dude. I mean, it's beautiful being in there. And for me, again, I wouldn't change. In fact, I wish they didn't change Azteca, because honestly, they've kept chipping it away on the interior, with the restaurants and all that bullshit. But for me, again, like I said, okay, you're going to modernize the inside, great. You're going to be able to host, NFL more games and more international tournaments, and great. But for me, I wouldn't mess with the exterior because that's part of the charm. That was part of the design intent of the original architect, and I have to respect that.
Well, at least they got rid of the horrible America logo on the stand, so that's a start, I guess.
It was a little bit tacky, but now they have Banorte on it. So I don't know how I feel about that. El banco de los pobres, güey. No mames.
Hey, but what made Azteca great?
No, güey. El banco de los pobres es el Banco Bienestar.
To get back from Azteca is packing it with 100,000 plus people. Like America no longer has that pull. The Mexican national team no longer has that pull. And I think that's the biggest negative.
Hold on. I think you guys. Bruce.
What happened?
I don't know. Is somebody watching the game or something?
No.
You guys don't hear that?
That's just you, bro.
Yeah. I don't have my TV on. I don't even check on the TV.
The FBI is tapping your phone or some shit.
Güey, cuídate.
It's
He's about to get that famous phone call of Soy el Mencho. Cálmate tus huevos.
Soy Mencho, güey. Relaja tu pente, güey. Yeah.
Such an amazing phone call.
Shit, guys. Lost track of time. We're over the 2-hour mark. Let's put a bow tie on this. Let's get our closing thoughts in. We do have a game against Iceland on Thursday. It is not a official friendly window, so you're going to be looking at basically Chivas plus a couple of other players in Liga MX versus Iceland. And if I'm not mistaken, Iceland, like, they still are semi-pro. Like, some of these people still have day jobs. Like, they might have to call out of work to go for this game. So
they're herding sheep.
I'm actually really curious to see what Aguirre has in store for us. And yeah, I guess who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Okay. Hey, just I have a mini rant and some advice for aspiring writers or people that write. Please do not steal shit. This week it happened to me again. I did a story on Austin Matthews. He won gold with Team USA, and he was the first hockey player of Mexican descent to win a gold medal in hockey. So there had been another Mexican American that won gold at the Winter Games, which was Derek Parra. But as hockey wise, it's Austin Matthews. So I did the story, boom, 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 and then on Monday I saw fucking Marca and Remezcla. They practically fucking jacked my story. Remezcla used I believe Remezcla used information from my Twitter, and the courtesy, if you're gonna do something like that, you credit the person. Albert Perez, according to Albert Perez from NHL.com, he gave this information. Marca, Marca has no shame. They literally just fucking copied and pasted, literally almost copied and pasted stories. So my advice to you aspiring writers is do not jack shit. Just, if you're going to use information, give proper credit. That's enough of my rant.
Nice. I'm stealing that advice. Does that count?
Albert, call them putos, güey. Be honest.
Call them putos, man. Marca son putos.
And you know what pissed me off?
Y rateros, güey. Diles pinches rateros.
Hey, Remezcla sounds like
Aladdin
X.
It took me 3 hours to do proper research on that fucking on that nota, and these fuckers just come and they just fucking pick it, and they don't even fucking credit.
Yeah,
I'm
fuck them.
talking to Marca. If anybody from Marca is fucking listening, fuck you.
Yeah, chinga tu madre, Marca.
Fuck you,
And Remezcla too.
Yeah,
güey,
Remezcla
¿sabes
too.
qué? Suck my dick from the back, bro. And that's from Ala Cantina.
Like
Fuck you guys.
I remember back in the day, boxing scene, they had a writer, nobody fucking knew him. Some guy named Miguel Rivera, and he would also fucking poach. Miguel didn't exist, but they were poached by shit too. I mean, and it's frustrating because you put a lot of fucking, you put a lot of work and doing the proper research. It's not fucking earth-shattering shit, but it's research that you do to come up with an interesting angle, and for some fuckers to just come and pick and just fucking take it with no credit, it's a little frustrating. But anyways, that's it. Have a good night, guys.
Bueno, chavos. ¿Saben qué? I guess I'll go next. And I'm going to take this energy that Albert just brought in here. And my closing thoughts is, ¿sabes qué, güey? Si vas a venir a la cantina, ¿verdad? Vas a estar aquí con los camaradas y vas a echar desmadre, pues ¿sabes qué, güey? Parte del rol es aguantar vara. Y si saben para quién es este es para el puto de pinche Ricardo, güey. A.K.A. at 3Pete Rick. Adivinen qué, listeners. Está vivo. Pero culió el cabrón. He has officially quit. Nos hizo block. Ya, se desapareció, güey. Entonces, si eres del barrio, si eres de aquí, tienes que tener aguante y adivina qué, güey. El bullying es para todos, para todo y es con amor. ¿Ok? Y si no te aguantas, pues chingas a tu madre y también me la mamas desde atrás.
Man, I find that
¿Por qué
hilarious. He would talk so much shit to us. It was like a
Hey, that's the
friendly
guy that
guy.
said that Talavera wasn't going to go to the World Cup.
Yeah, that is him. He said it was going to be a influencer fest or something like that. He said that it was going to be no more traditional World Cup. There was going to be full of Instagram influencers, and it was not for him. But no, man, like he would say we were transgenders, blue-haired lesbians, dick suckers, and we call him a cuck one time, and that was it. He left.
Yeah, very disappointing behavior by Rick, especially because he's been on this podcast quite a few times, talk his shit. Now he can't take it, man. It's crazy. And this is after winning 3 titles in a row, man. It's like, come on, man. Where's the humility?
Exactly.
It makes me appreciate Ron even more.
It's not the first
Ron
time.
Knows how to take it.
It's not the first time we've had people rage quit, and it won't be the last time. So,
when did he quit?
Today.
Fuck, I wasn't aware.
He left the chat, something that you've done in the past too. But we put you back in.
You got too many fucking chat rooms, goddammit.
we had to fix it. Twitter keeps, gatekeeping some shit, so you had to take out the ones that were just not, they hadn't updated their app or they just hadn't been active in a while. So we fixed it. We're in the new chat. It's all working great now. But yeah, who wants to go next? Is Joel still on?
I'll go if that's all right. I'll do it as what I do every time. My Jovenes rundown. This week we had a high number, 64 Mexican players, age 23 or younger, so born 2002 or later. And the number this week is 16.9 or 17%. Is this because of injuries or because of the call-ups in this non-FIFA date? I don't know, but we do see a surge, and a lot of teams are hitting their quota now. I think Pachuca hit their quota last week or this week, and a lot of teams are going to be hitting it now. But 17%, right around 1/5 of all the league players are jovenazos, and I know that's kind of tentative with the 23 and younger qualifications, but I'm going to call them jovenazos nonetheless. I guess I wanted to highlight some of the ones that caught my eye. One guy who I've been advocating for a while, but then he joined the enemy's team. That's Isaias Violante. The pick of the litter this week. He had he's got back-to-back goals, and he scored this last week. And I believe he's going to be a starter. There's rumors that he's winning the starting spot for Club America. So I knew him back when he broke out for Toluca. Unfortunately, he was chased out of the team by Turco Mohamed, and he went to America where he kind of floundered a little bit, but now he's catching fire. Unfortunately, it's for the Huilas, but, he's a young prospect, and he's fast. He's really fast. So I hope he catches fire and maybe even garners a call-up because, you need to have informed wingers. Another guy who surprised me is Eduardo Aguila, center back for San Luis. He's a consentido of Aguirre. I believe he's called up for this friendly against Iceland, and he scored a goal. for San Luis, and then he got a red card during their match. I forget against who. Against Atlas. Their 3-2 loss against Atlas. So he scores in the 41st minute, and then in the 83rd minute he gets a red card. So you give and you take. He's a young guy. But he's really good. And he's scoring goals, right? So I know he's in the periphery because he plays for San Luis, but this is someone who's got a real chance at making the World Cup. I think him over Campillo, but I didn't even think Campillo would get called up, and he's getting called up. So Campillo keeps surprising me. Great player as well. And then who else did I want to? That's about it. All right. Well, thanks for having me, everyone. Appreciate it. And yeah, see you guys next time.
Diaz says Jóvenes Rundown needs to be renamed to Reports from the Island. Wow. That's so out of pocket. I love it. Who's next?
I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass on that one.
I will say that, Chivas Cruz Azul result, it was not, obviously you want to win, but it was not like a disappointing result in the worst thing. It gave me Liguilla vibes as far as the game, the quality, the tension between the two teams. And if you tell me that you're going back to Akron, only losing by 1 goal, I'll take it. Like, it was not a bad result, especially how things played out. And I'm also a firm believer, we're talking about extranjeros, naturalizados. If the old saying goes, if Chivas is doing well, the national team, is going to benefit from it. And I think that this is what we need to see. Chivas consistently being in those top 4. It benefits everyone. And then it also makes you wonder, like, what's the possibilities? If you guys watch European soccer, you saw that Inter Milan lost today to a team from Norway. And that team from Norway, they've only had like 4 professional matches this year. And they were against Inter Milan twice, Man City, and Atletico Madrid. And they won all 4 of them. And now Norway has qualified for the World Cup for the first time, like in a long time, I think like since the 80s. And that team that won all those games, they had 9 guys from Norway on the starting 11. So, they have a good base of national team players. And they didn't even win their league last year. They came in 2nd place. So I think that translates. I want to see that translated to a Mexican soccer. A lot of people laugh and make memes when Chivas is not doing well. But, that's a team of Mexicans. If the team of Mexicans can't compete in its own league, it talks to you about the quality of Mexican players. So to see Chivas doing well, to be fighting for those top spots, if anything, it should make you content to the degree that the Mexican talent is there and the Mexican talent can compete against the big wallets that the other teams have.
Well said. Well said.
94, Habibi. Norway was in the group with Mex. They beat him 1-0. Saguinho missing. I don't even know how he missed it. Hit the ball right in front of the arco.
You know what? Claudio Suarez told me that it was pretty much hell defending against those fucking towers. That
yeah, they were huge.
That fucking Campos would lodge it and then hope to find somebody in the front, but it was a losing battle.
And I think it helped Mexico that the weather was on Mexico's side because we played that game in the night, and it's a good chance. Well, they win anyways. They still won, but yeah, it probably would have been way more. I do think that helped a lot, because they were playing against teams that were a bit more follados, maybe, perhaps.
DC. Yeah.
Yeah, damn. My closing thoughts. Just a fun fact, we talked about this last podcast, and I researched it because I wanted to be sure about it, because I just, I had heard about this years ago. So when Campos plays 94 World Cup, he's wearing Umbro kits, but they're actually Nike kits. He designed them, Nike made them, but because Umbro was the official kit for Mexico, it's taped it's the logo is taped over the Nike, or I don't know if Nike made their logo, but they were, and then Campos tried to do the same for '98, but ABBA was like, nah, fuck you. That's why you see him wearing like that same jersey, right?
Joel, it's
with the
interesting
sun.
because when they play, sorry to interrupt you, when they play the Copa USA in '95, Campos is using Nike uniforms, but the team is dressed by ABBA Sport with that fucking ugly M.
But I think for the World Cup they were like didn't let them.
They fucking
'98
rock the away jersey.
And this is maybe you can help me because this ties a bit into it. When did Nike sign? Jordan?
And I want to say his rookie year, 84, 85.
Oh shit! Okay, so they already were in it because I believe they had no uniforms in '94 World Cup. I don't think they had any.
They started their soccer uniforms started in '95, and the first team that was sponsored that got Nike was USA, and then Brazil joined.
Oh, USA.
Yeah, Brazil joined. I want to say Brazil joined after the '96 Olympics, because by '97,
yeah,
Brazil was already with Nike, which is funny. This is funny. So in '97, Nike sponsored a game between Mexico and Brazil and Miami. And
I remember that one. Bora.
Nike had they got bamboozled, but it was because Nike had the intention of stealing Mexico away from ABBA. But
yeah. Well, the reason I mentioned Jordan was because that's kind of how Nike blew up through one player. And for '94. It's kind of like they were trying the same thing, and they had like sponsorships with a lot of players. So there was two commercials. There was I think he does one with the billboards, where they're all kicking the ball from billboard to billboard.
Yeah, I think that's one of the first ones they did. Yeah, and then
this one
I remember. Then there's one with Cantona. There's one with Cantona too. I think those were like the first ones.
That's one of my favorites when they're playing in the Roman Coliseum. I don't remember the exact date of that one, but that's a really cool commercial. And Campos is in it, and they're playing against like the devil and his minions or something. It's a really cool commercial. So if you guys want to look for them on YouTube,
that one's a classic.
Some of the old Nike stuff. Yeah.
So I mean, that was already like when they went full-fledged into soccer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! Yeah, then they blew up. But just wanted to bring some fun facts there.
For the record, it's called Good versus Evil. Mm-hmm. That's the name of that commercial.
There you go.
That was a good one.
There you go. Yeah, Nike Good versus Evil. Yeah, those were cool, man. That one, the one when they're playing in a boat.
My favorite was the Scorpion games, which is part of that.
Yeah, is that the Pepsi one?
No, Scorpion Games was Nike. It was in a cage.
Yeah.
And
it was the boat. Yeah, the boat.
Cantona was the host. He would drop the chrome ball, and then it was 3-on-3 action, and yeah.
Then they had this one, and I think
classic. The two they did, the '98, and then the remake in 2006, and where they're fucking playing in the airport. That was fucking classic.
Brazil.
I also like the one they got a Mexican, one of the Mexican directors. I forget which one he did.
I think
he did the one where
Irinatu.
I think so. But dude, I love that one where you kind of see what happens if they miss, and then Rooney's living in a trailer park.
Oh yeah.
It looks like then they show what happens if he scores.
That was a classic. Right the Future.
Dude, that one's the.
Yeah, it was.
Right, dude, even at the Simpsons.
It's Alejandro González Irinatu, and it was called Right the Future. Yeah.
Hey, so I guess this begs the question: what's going on? I haven't seen any commercial of that magnitude. Anything Because I know Adidas even tried for a little bit, but I haven't seen anything like that, man. They get into this World Cup. I don't,
No,
you
They
know.
just start rolling around come May. That's when they usually start fucking.
Yeah, it's a little.
there's one right now.
It's never too soon, Jaime.
No. Espérate, way. There's one right now that they've been teasing. They haven't released the full things. They show Yamin on top of a rodeo bull.
I don't think that's Nike though, is it?
No, it's not
Yamin
Nike.
on top
It's
of a bull?
Pepsi?
what's it called? No, wait, it's Adidas. They have Edson and un carro drifting sideways.
Yeah, Subaru.
Like, there's a bunch of pendejadas. Yeah.
Yup. Yeah.
So
he's going nuts in a fucking. I think it's a WRX, or it could be a 86.
The only Adidas commercial I remember is that fucking classic one where the kids are playing Cascarita and fucking one kid fucking just picks fucking like Beckenbauer and Platini. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was the plus 10. Like,
yeah, that was
like, you know.
It was Jose plus 10 Impossible Dream or Impossible Team commercial. Yeah, that one was classic. And they did a nod to it in the last World Cup. I could be wrong, but I think they brought it back. But yeah, there's been so many iconic commercials. I was obsessed with the Nike ones in the early days, and this is before like fast internet, right? So you had to wait a while to like watch them. And Ronaldinho and Joga Bonito, oh dude, those videos were fucking crazy.
You know which ones I get a kick out of? I go on YouTube, the Argentine ones when they got eliminated. In 2002, they had a bunch where they go out and then they fucking like the people's fucking encouraging them, and then there's one where Coca-Cola says, "Llegamos,
you're gonna have to
terminamos últimos," or some shit like that.
Oh, I haven't seen that one, but yeah, the Coca-Cola ones I also haven't seen because they had like two pretty cool ones. They were short, but they were pretty cool. One is a kid. He's just going to buy some Cokes. They're playing the Fito Páez, Dale Alegría Mi Corazón in the background. And then they had another one with Blondie. Yeah.
Do you remember one in 2006? It was I think it was a Genuine Draft where there's a hot chick. It's in Espanol. There's a hot chick, and she comes out with a Mexico jersey, and the guy's surprised, and she tells him, "¿Qué cambiaste de equipo?" Like, you know, implying that he was, you know, that he was gay.
Good,
yeah, I don't know if you remember that.
No, you have to share that one, man. I don't remember that.
It's funny.
That's crazy. All right, guys, I got to put a bow tie on this, but love everyone joining tonight in solidarity of the current climate we have in the world right now. It's good to banter and joke around and also talk about the sport that we love. I really hope that Mexico does not get punished and that they are able to host the few matches that they have in La Ciudad de Mexico, in Guadalajara, Monterrey. I mean, I even have plans of, even if I can't get into the stadium, at least being in the city. You know, I think it's just, I'd rather be in Mexico than here, honestly. Here it's pathetic. At Levi's, there's no ambience, there's no culture. Nobody gives a shit. Everyone was still obsessed with like the fucking Super Bowl. And it's just like, bro, like the World Cup's in a couple months, man. Like, fuck the Super Bowl. So I hope that we figure shit out, that the World Cup goes as planned. As far as Thursday, I cannot wait for that game against Iceland because this is basically Chivas versus Iceland. Aguirre called up 7 players. And I'm rooting for these guys. I'm rooting for Campillo. I'm rooting for Hormiga. I'm rooting for a lot of these players that, you know, may or may not make the cut. But I hope that Hormiga gets the start and scores a hat trick and forces Aguirre to call him up for the World Cup. Aside from that, we'll catch you guys on the next one and have a good night. Thank you, YouTube, for your love and support today. Chuy Garcia, love handles. You guys get some sleep.